Ladies and germs, welcome to this week's episode of the ScreenPeak podcast. I hope you enjoy some talk about some video games and some movies, and you're gonna have a good old time.
God!
Have you tested the levels yet?
The levels are fine.
Okay.
Look how fine that looks. That's great. We're not going to clip it. It's fine. Where's the...
Also, another note, Devin gets really angry sometimes.
No, well, last podcast, I don't know. I don't know about
Apparently,
last
you got teamed up on about Destiny.
Well, we always need a target. But you're back now.
And you're back
Generally,
now.
It's always me.
You do it to yourself.
I don't know how. I just say stuff, and then you guys are like, "Oh, that's stupid." It's like high school all over again.
No.
Ass.
That's see, and he hasn't learned from high school either.
No, he's still falling for the same stuff.
Yeah.
Mainly, I just don't care. But cool.
Welcome to the 10th episode of the ScreenPeak podcast. I'm Devin, as always. I got Trey.
Hello.
I got Isaac. See, it's that shit that he does. And I got a special guest, Kyle.
Hello.
What's up,
My
Kyle?
name's Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
We made it to 10.
Yeah.
I confused myself. I meant to say we made it to double digits. But I went, we made it to 10. I didn't know how to fix this.
I was
the
waiting
situation
for you,
I got into.
I was waiting for you to follow up with episodes.
No.
But you didn't.
We made it to 10.
Edit the thing.
My name's Jeff.
SFA, man.
What is
Geo.
this?
It's nice to make it to 10. I saw 22 Jump Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
21 Jump Street.
22.
And then it was 22.
That's 22, that one.
The 10 part of the Jeff.
I thought the
the
first
Jeff
one was
part.
21.
It is.
Is that the
It's
second?
in the 22
I
Jump
thought
Street
it was in the
movie.
first one.
No, it's
Okay.
in-
I
it's in the
haven't
second
really.
one.
I haven't watched all the second.
That's the
one.
beginning of the second one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch that.
Okay.
Have you watched it?
Yeah. Did you hear about the crossover between 21 Jump Street movies and Men in Black?
No.
I think that was announced a while ago.
Is it real?
I don't know, but
That's
I think
hard to
it's
Why? It
I think
seems
it's
like there's no reason.
I think it's real. Well, because it's just I think the 22 Jump Street movies are just ridiculous, and that's what they're going with. They're like, what can we do that'll be even stupider?
Was there such a thing as a dark cinematic universe? Why not put together a freaking Men in Black and 21 Jump Street?
What's in the dark cinematic? Like, is that Constantine, Batman?
It's all the Orlando
What is that?
Studios' monster movies. You not heard about this? The dark...
Oh, is that just what they're called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dark cinematic universe or whatever.
Constantine is DC.
No, I know. Well, I was thinking of like...
I'm talking like Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll,
Are you talking like
The
that-
Mummy.
Oh.
Okay. That's why the Mummy and Scorpion King were. I just scissored my fingers so that you can't see what I just did.
I thought you meant like monster movies like King Kong
No.
and Pacific Rim. I thought that's what you were getting at. Okay.
Kaiju.
Am I the only one that actually liked the Men in Black movies?
Yeah,
I love
I liked
the Men
them,
in
yeah.
Black movies.
Men in Black 2 is funny.
3 was
yeah.
good. I like 3.
3 was
I liked the.
It was alright.
I remember liking it. I don't remember if it was good.
I like what they did with 3.
the backstory. I like how they give
Yeah.
the backstory.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. What's his name? Josh Brolin plays a good...
Wait, 3 was the time travel one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Josh Brolin plays a good Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like Josh Brolin.
Second one was my favorite.
And Will Smith's dad died, which is always a plus.
Wait. You mean like in real life?
No, in the movie.
In the movie.
Yeah, I
in
know
the
what happened in the
movie.
movie, but you just said it like it was recent news.
No, but in
I
the
was
movie.
confused.
What is recent news is that Roger Moore died. That's recent news.
Apparently, I heard from somebody that one of the Allen brothers died.
Allman Brothers.
Allman brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the Allman Brother Band. They
Allman,
died as well.
Not Allen.
Did you hear it from Simon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say a certain someone, but you just threw out his name.
That's,
Awesome.
That's
name
fine.
drops.
Who gives a shit? But Roger Moore died. I don't know who the Allman Brother dude is.
I don't know who Roger Moore is.
Roger Moore was James Bond for the most amount of movies.
the black-haired dude?
Well, they're all
The spy?
black-haired.
No.
He has more brown hair.
The recent one is blonde.
They're
I
all black hair
guess.
as well.
No, that one.
Oh, dude, that was my favorite Bond.
Ah, that's cool.
You don't know who he was 10 seconds ago.
Oh, he played 007.
Yeah, thanks, Trey.
Yeah.
I didn't know the name. I knew who he was.
No, I like this guy. He he was in the most amount of Bond movies.
He wasn't as creepy as Sean.
I said that before.
He did. Just as eloquently.
Yeah, but I do his Bond movies. He's good. I like him, but his Bond movies are like the goofy ones. His are the goofiest ones.
What era?
I mean,
What time? 70s, 80s?
I think it's
60s?
I think he start. Well, yeah, it's definitely 70s to his last one, which might have been in the 80s.
what's the story of James Bond 007? Like, how do they reconcile him changing face?
This isn't Doctor Who. They don't need to do that.
I understand that, but like,
They're
if it's a
serial.
continuation of his name, are they different actual people? Or-
No.
They reboot it every time.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Is it just? It's just they're not gonna explain. It's a new set of movies.
Yeah, it doesn't need to. It's a reboot. Yeah, well, like Trey said, it's a reboot of the franchise every single time.
Okay,
They bring in a new guy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is it the longest running, or not longest running? Has it got the most movies in a single franchise? I think it holds that record.
I don't know, man.
Between that and Police Story, maybe.
Police Academy?
Police Academy. Sorry, yeah.
I was
Police
gonna
Academy.
say.
Police Academy 8.
Police Story.
Nah, never mind. Fast and Furious got that.
Oh, yeah, it's coming up.
That's right.
What about the Harry Potter movies? Part
That-
1, Part 2.
There's
That's
eight,
only
I
8
think.
though.
Yeah, and they're already done.
Yeah, but I think so. There is 25 James Bond movies.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. 25.
I haven't seen any of them.
They're all good.
I'm sure.
I've told you. I've said this before.
I don't like the goofy ones, though.
There's
That's
a
Roger
movie
Moore's
for
era.
I don't know.
every season of The Simpsons.
You don't shut. What?
So there's a movie for every season of The Simpsons. Actually, I don't
Yeah.
know how many seasons there are for
It's
Simpsons.
25, I think. They
That
passed.
would be crazy if there was.
However long ago, whenever they passed the mark for Gunsmoke, because Gunsmoke had 21 seasons. I think that was about 2-3 years ago. So I'm assuming at this point it's 25.
Favorite old western? The Rifleman.
You gotta talk about westerns
It
now?
was amazing.
Specifically shows
The
or
Rifleman. Starring
that's a badass opening. I will say that.
Connors. Dude, Saturdays were lit. We'd watch it with my dad. Actually, it was only Saturdays when Dad wasn't working, but
I watched anime like a normal person.
that was
As a kid.
Saturday afternoon. I'm talking about Saturday mornings.
Those are
I was a real awesome kid. I watched SpongeBob.
Saturday morning cartoons.
That was
before
midday.
SpongeBob.
Before SpongeBob, didn't
Yeah,
watch nothing.
there was a time.
Before SpongeBob, it was all Blue's Clues.
Before SpongeBob was old cartoons on like Boomerang. Or
That's
something
true.
like
Yeah,
And Ed
it
and Eddie
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
big
that.
one.
Yeah, Ed and Eddie.
Before that.
We weren't freaking watching TV before Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah, we were.
Dude, I was
up
like
it right
4
now.
in 2000.
Dude.
Look up Ed. I'll look
I'm
it
not.
up.
I'm not talking about you. Me
were
and
like-
Trey remember the '90s.
I'll look it up.
We
You
remember
keep
the
talking.
year before 2001.
Not even 3 years, like 2 years.
What?
I'll look it up. You keep talking.
Which one were you looking up?
I'm looking up Ed, and Eddie.
One
I'll look
year.
up SpongeBob. Okay, SpongeBob came out in 1999.
Yeah,
So did
Get
freaking
wrecked.
Ed, and Eddie.
get wrecked.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems like
Right around the time that we start remembering what we're watching.
drastically different.
I was 7.
I
So,
I
pretty
remember.
young.
Yeah, but I remember shows before SpongeBob and Ed, and Eddie.
You remember older shows?
Yeah, like Cow and Chicken,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ren and Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy.
Maybe that's why I never
Those are
liked
both
in the
really
Brain.
ugly shows.
The Animaniacs come out before. Yeah, I guess it did. Yeah.
How about Freakazoid?
it. We weren't allowed
I
to
never
watch.
watched Freakazoid.
Captain Planet.
I don't know why, but we weren't allowed
Code
to watch.
Lyoko?
That came out later.
When's the last
remember
time you
that.
thought about that show?
I
don't
remember
know.
that name, but I just remember I didn't like the show. I don't.
Rocket
Gosh,
Power.
it was a weird show.
All
That's
Monsters.
another-
Captain Planet watched all the time, and I was like, "Mom, is this for hippies?"
The real Power Rangers?
No, it's for you, son.
Rip.
What was the Looney Tunes show with the blue bunny and the pink bunny? They're both little bunnies.
Oh, Tiny Toons.
Tiny Toons,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another good ass show.
Looney Tunes.
A lot of Scooby Doo back in the day.
Dude, Scooby Doo all the time.
Yeah. I don't like it now, but it was fun back then.
Yeah.
Scooby Doo is the thing that lasts through the ages.
It's just so repetitive.
It's always gonna get a reboot. It's always
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
be like
sure.
how are we gonna bring Scooby Doo to the new age
I wonder
now?
how trashy it'll be.
No, I know.
I mean, it's progressively gotten pretty bad.
Then Scrappy Doo.
I don't know. What was the one where they were kids?
That one wasn't that bad though.
I don't remember that
I
one.
know. That's what I'm saying. That one was good.
That would have been early 2000s.
What's
so.
new Scooby Doo was okay as well.
Speaking of kids, what about Rugrats? And then
Oh,
All Grown
yeah.
Up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I never watched.
all
That was
growing
weird.
up.
It's just weird, like growing up on different sides and stuff. Some people watch all these shows. Some people watch like only certain shows, and then some people watch the opposite shows. Like I never watched The Simpsons, and I never watched the Rugrats. I never watched.
You're missing out.
I'm missing something, but I watched very little of Courage because it was freaking creepy.
Oh.
Same reason why I didn't watch it. It was
Very
gross and weird.
I watched it at night.
It was gross.
We would watch The Late Show at night because we got a TV up in our room and there was a little cable hookup. So like our favorite thing to do was to watch the Late Show with wow, I just forgot his name, and I've watched so many episodes of The Late
The
Show.
Crimson Chin, whatever the fuck his name is.
It's Timmy. No, that's Fairly Odd Parents.
Just Jay Leno you're talking about.
Jay Leno.
No, I'm not talking about Jay Leno.
What's
The
that's
other
the
one.
That's the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
I'm
David
talking about
Letterman.
David Letterman.
Yeah.
Why could I not think of David Letterman's
I
name?
don't know.
You were watching that. I was watching Zoids and Gundam.
Fuck yeah.
It wasn't
Zoids.
Saturday nights. Saturday nights was reserved for
Toonami. Yeah. Zoids and freaking. No.
And then-
He's wanting you to pound.
No.
He's holding his fist weird,
I
but
won't leave you hanging.
Thank you.
What about Jet X?
What are you talking about? It was reserved
Jet
for
X?
Toonami.
Yeah, it was
Saturday
like a-
night was reserved
it
for
was like
Toonami because that's the
after-
only night
That's
that
what
Toonami
Zoids
was
and
on.
Gundam was on.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't watch the Letterman show, the Late Show, whatever, on Saturday
Oh,
nights.
I don't know how that works.
I watched it
that's
throughout
on
the
weekdays.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
and then on Saturday night I watched Toonami. That's why I was saying pound it because watch on Saturday.
I don't want to pound anything of yours.
Touche.
Jet X was like Disney's version of Toonami.
I never watched Disney.
Okay.
didn't
Okay.
know about that.
I don't think I ever watched it either. Was that something also kind of like the Disney Afternoon?
Yeah.
Disney XD.
Yeah, Disney XD was after.
That was a
No,
completely
Disney
separate channel.
Disney Afternoon.
Freaking Disney XD or whatever had Sonic,
They
I think.
Dude, they had Pac-Man and his ghostly adventures not too long ago. Like, I remember I'd stay home from school and that would be on. Like,
Pac-Man.
yeah, on like, but
Yeah.
that was recent. Like, that was my junior year or senior year.
There was a Mega Man show, supposedly.
Yeah.
There was another show. It was like Mega Man.
Well,
It kind of like ripped
Astro
it off.
Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the weird thing about
I think Astro Boy was first.
yeah,
Oh.
Maybe.
the weird thing about the
I don't know. I have no basis of that.
Yeah, Astro Boy was first.
The weird
Before
thing about the
Mega Man
Pac-Man
games.
show
Yeah.
was that apparently actual Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man had this Pac-Man that's in the show, and so actual Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man are off somewhere, and it's just Pac, as they call him, who is Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man's son.
Well, yeah, Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man are fighting the Ghost Wars at the current moment.
Dude, actually, it's something like that.
the
They're
pellet,
collecting food for all the villagers.
the pellet trials.
Yeah.
Jetix was 2004. That's what that was.
Oh.
Had a lot of Power Rangers on it.
I still remember as a kid. So.
Never watched Power Rangers.
That's fine.
I think we've already been over that.
We might
we
have. I don't know. Disney Afternoon though was something like before Jetix. It had all kinds of shows. It had Gargoyles.
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
It had.
Batman.
Did it have Batman on it?
Did it have Batman?
I think
Yes.
you're crazy. I think that's a
I could-
Cartoon
No, that was-
Network thing.
That was when okay. Warner Brothers would play on I think it would play on both Disney and Cartoon Network.
You think so?
No,
I thought Warner
it was on
Brothers had its
Cartoon.
own channel. It was like PBS or something.
Yeah, I think they did too.
Or the
To tell you the
WB?
truth, yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm
WB.
pretty sure it was just the
It's
WB.
WB, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, because we always watch Batman on there.
It had.
Shaolin Showdown.
Calm down with that.
Don't forget about that one.
I
But
don't even know.
Disney Afternoon also had Disney Afternoon had Tiny Toons. No,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I'm sorry.
No, that was
that's
on,
all right. That's
that was
wrong.
on
That's
WB.
Yep,
I think.
it was.
Shoot, SWAT Cats.
Dude,
SWAT Cats?
I forgot about that show. I knew about it. I couldn't remember the name.
DuckTales. Fucking DuckTales.
Tailspin.
Yeah.
Tailspin. That's that. I was trying to think of Tailspin.
Tailspin,
Oh my God,
DuckTales,
fucking
and
SWAT
SWAT
Cats.
Cats. SWAT Cats was so cool, and I never I gotta watch it barely at all, and I'm just like, SWAT Cats is so cool.
I don't really remember SWAT Cats too much.
Was it called SWAT Cats?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
pretty
called-
looked that up.
It's literally called SWAT Cats. I'm
Like
pretty
Cats
sure.
with a K, I think.
I can't really remember any other show, but I remember that's how I used to watch Gargoyles. Was
Type in SWAT and Cats is the first thing that shows up.
because it's fucking rad.
Do you guys remember what the name of the movie that had Shark Girl and Lava Boy in it?
Yeah, Shark Girl
Boy.
and Lava Boy.
Shark Girl and Lava Boy.
That was the name of the movie? All right.
Did you just say Shark Girl and Lava Boy?
He did. So I repeated him.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
All right.
That's literally
it's
the
been
name of the
forever
movie.
since I've seen this.
It actually wasn't even that long ago.
I believe you're talking about Spy Kids.
And then that was a
It was Spy Kids, Spy Kids 2, Spy Kids 3D, and then Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Sylvester Stallone is in Spy Kids 3D.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's super weird.
Steve Buscemi. Well, he was in the second one as well.
He's old.
Yeah, he's old.
The Expendables.
Machete.
Bill Paxton was in the second one and the third one as well.
Was he? Who was he?
Bill Paxton was the amusement park owner. That was the. My crazy. He was the
You're crazy.
He was the father of the two other Spy Kids.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
the dink. He owned
the dick.
Dinkland or whatever. The fucking amusement park was called.
Sure.
Was called.
Dickland.
He's like, "Don't mess with the Dinkster." Is like, it's like what he says in the movie. Something
Yeah,
like
because
that.
there was a big robot or whatever, and he's
That's in the third one. Yeah, and he cut. Yeah, he
don't
comes
mess
up.
with the Dinkster.
Yeah, that's what he does. Yeah.
Do you guys remember Rocket Power?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Wiggity wiggity wiggity.
Don't step in the potato salad.
I remember staying up.
I got sand in the
so late.
potato
God
salad.
dang it. I meant
Rocket Power. What are you guys talking about?
Rocket Power?
I don't remember.
Dude,
You don't know Rocket Power?
Oh,
had a
look
game
it
on-
up.
you don't
telling
remember
you.
the
Oh.
Wiggity Wiggity?
they had a game
No.
on a PS1. I spent so many hours.
They did have a game on
They
the
had a
PS1.
Flash game on Nickelodeon.com. I spent all the time at school
I
playing.
remember the commercial for that PS1 game. I remember it specifically because there was a kid in our school that said he was in that commercial.
You talking about Rainey?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said he's in a lot of things.
Well, because we used to make fun of him as kids, calling him Hollywood because he said he was in a bunch of commercials.
He was in the
Speaking.
stunt double of the kid in Master of Disguise. That's the one I heard.
That's what he said.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Turtle.
Fucking movie sucks.
Speaking of games, that we played at school, anybody remember CoolMath.com?
No.
Neopets?
Yeah, I remember Cool Math.
Who the fuck plays Neopets?
I did when I was younger.
Oh.
Rocket Power.
That and RuneScape. Old RuneScape.
If you can't recognize it by the art
Yep.
style, okay, I was gonna say.
I
What was the
couldn't
girl's
see it.
name? It starts with an R.
I don't know.
Wiggity
Dang.
That's wiggity wiggity whack.
Reggie.
Reggie, yeah, I knew it. Dang, the dad in that show reminds me of somebody, but I don't know his name.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
No. He's a freaking bike builder guy.
Achy breaky heart.
He's a bike
You
builder.
guys
West
won't
Coast
know him
Customs?
anyway.
Oh, okay.
No. His name is Jesse, I think. Jesse, I think.
Jesse
Jesse
Ventura?
something.
Jesse Ventura.
No.
Okay.
Jesse James.
It might be.
Not the old one, but the bike guy.
That's who he's talking about.
I'm Jesse James.
Talked about a lot of TV shows. Speaking of TV shows, has anybody ever played the game Castlevania? The very popular game Castlevania.
Yes.
I never did.
Okay.
But I was never good enough to get anywhere.
They're having a Netflix show that pretty much just looks like an anime. Like there's the screenshot of.
Is it live action
that.
or is
Dude,
it
is
anime?
it?
I said it is anime.
You said it looks like anime.
It's pretty much anime.
it's
Well,
anime.
Is it following the guy?
It's Netflix
Is it
anime.
following
Simon Belmont.
Okay,
know.
or is it gonna have anything to do with
I don't know anything about it.
Alucard,
I don't know anything about it.
who is just secretly Dracula's son?
I don't know anything about it.
If you could have Netflix come up with a show for a video game, what game would you want them to make? You want this is your ideal? Okay, no.
I mean, actually, like the dark setting of Castlevania is perfect for a dark anime, which is what I've really been wanting to watch because I just found a manga that's like really cool and it's called Priest, and I want to read it all, but I can't find it.
The manga Priest, not the Marvel comic Priest.
No.
Okay.
It's a Korean manga,
Okay.
and it is like dark.
I don't know. Whoa, do you have anything in mind?
No,
Just throw the question
I
out
throw
there.
the question out there. I don't know. I wouldn't want it to be a story game, like a Mass Effect game. I wouldn't want that. The story has been told already.
It just depends.
And
I don't know.
you get so many choices. It's hard to like. It's hard to put an RPG or something that you have multiple choices and to build your own story with.
It definitely wouldn't be an RPG.
But to put that into a film, you kind of can't do that. You have to give one that's got a set path for you.
I don't know. What if they just made like? I think you could do it if you had a character and it was just a story. Like they're not doing like a story from the game, but if they just did their own separate story, but they just followed along with the universe itself.
I think
all its
Castlevania
bindings.
is a pretty decent choice. Like the ones I'm thinking of are ones where like you're the main character and you don't talk to anybody or anything, and you kind of need somebody to talk to in a show. So Castlevania,
Like Link.
like yeah,
You
you can't have like yeah, exactly. Or Samus. Well, I thought Samus. Well, who's Samus going to talk to?
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's another
The
thing.
things she kills.
Yeah,
Like it's hard to find a game that is so popular that you can make a story about the main character because the main character is always you, and so it's always going to be different.
They
So it's
kinda-
easier to make it about the world.
They kind of did. Well, I mean, they kind of did make Halo.
Doom.
Show.
Doom guy couldn't talk to nobody.
That's
Yeah, he could.
that's
No,
true.
we can't.
They made that movie.
That wasn't Doom guy.
Yeah, it was.
It technically
Carl Urban was Doom Guy.
No, he wasn't.
They
Doom
did the
guy.
cool first-person view.
that was actually kind of cool.
The Rock.
Yeah.
What?
We're out of bullets. What?
If you read the script, like almost every other word is what.
What?
What?
The portal.
demon-
Yeah. The portal of hell's opened up. What?
That's why you shouldn't make a Doom anything other than a game.
I think it'd be Serious Sam. It was a cartoon,
Oh.
but it was a game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved all the Serious Sam.
I could see that.
Okay.
I feel like they could have done Doom in a good way, but they just didn't.
They could do
No.
like. If we're talking about
I'm
Sam's,
not saying they should try again.
Okay.
I'm just saying like
Make it a
they
movie.
could have made that kind of cool.
they could do Pajama Sam. Just make it a
Jameson. What
cartoon.
was the fish? Freddy Fish?
Freddy Fish? Yeah. You
Yeah.
could do one of those.
Putt Putt. The magic car.
I'd never played Pup.
Gosh, you missed out on Putt Putt.
That Secret Agent Fox.
Yeah, Spy Fox.
Spy Fox.
Yeah. All these
Fox.
E-entertainment games.
Star Fox. Star Fox show would be awesome. Make Star Fox
Actually
show.
would.
Yeah. Star Fox is perfect, actually.
Because like I'm thinking of like regular Nintendo things.
F-Zero.
Like Mario's overdone. would be
F-Zero could be cool.
F-Zero could be cool.
F-Zero would be like a cool
Speed
like,
Racer.
Yeah.
Didn't they
Way
make a show
cooler
that-
than that.
Oh my god, dude! No, wait. Speed Racer, the Nintendo equivalent of Speed Racer has to be like Mario Kart. That's what that has to be. Well,
the
no,
goofy
sorry.
Initial
The
D.
Nintendo equivalent of that is Wacky Racers. Actually, for Nintendo, that's Mario Kart. I was thinking like, yeah, I guess Speed Racer would be like
But less
pretty good for
goofy.
F-Zero.
Less
No,
80s.
I was thinking like he could like do a bounty hunter shit, and then he could like do a race as well.
Yeah.
Dude, like
is what I'm
honestly,
thinking.
if you're gonna do F-Zero like as a show and have it like on a serious tone,
Live action.
yeah, actually, if you had enough budget,
No, that'd be fucking ridiculous.
Dude, you ain't played the F-Zero GX game that you have. The cutscenes in that thing
You let
are
me have?
amazing. They let you borrow for that one time.
You didn't let me borrow anything.
Yeah, I did.
I don't
You
have
freaking
it.
got the GameCube that broke. You don't have it now. I
Okay.
let you borrow it at one point. I said I
Did
let
I?
you borrow it. Yeah.
Ah.
And Spider-Man, but you chose to play Spider-Man until your GameCube broke.
I already had Spider-Man.
But on the PS2.
I believe, yeah, and it works
Whatever, man.
fine because
I
it's
spent so many hours
PS2.
on that game.
So minus your guys' hate for sharing games, I'm just saying like they could make it really cool,
No, yeah, I mean they could.
but they're not.
They can
going to.
always do anything.
I'd like to see a movie make.
But they're making
of the
Castlevania.
of the Sly Cooper games.
They do. There is
There
one.
is one?
Yeah, there was a trailer. I'm not even joking with you. Right
They
now.
did Ratchet and Clank. Why not do Sly Cooper?
It was the trailer. I saw the trailer like a year ago.
You know what I don't
I'll look that up.
understand? I don't understand the Pink Panther movie. Why is it called Pink Panther?
This is totally. Well, which ones?
The one that's got the dude that was in Cheaper by the Dozen.
Okay, Steve Martin is his name. Very famous comedian.
Yeah,
But
I just can't think of his
Isn't
name.
the
I
original
know who he
Pink
is.
Panther was the dude?
No.
Was a spy?
But
well, yeah. Well, I
The
mean,
old show?
the old Pink Panther movies, because they were movies.
Yeah.
But my point is, why call it Pink Panther? It doesn't seem to have anything to do with Pink Panther.
Is it in the name of the diamond?
Okay, well, they were original movies, right?
Okay.
That came out before the show.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with the show, and of course, it's like there was a reason why the movie was called Pink Panther. I don't know why.
It was branded with the Pink Panther, like the show.
That's the show. That's what the show did. The movies are without the show.
It's
You have
really
to
weird
think.
because neither the movie nor the show had anything to do with insulation, which is really strange.
Okay, that's funny for people that understand that.
I don't get it.
Insulation, there's a brand called Pink Panther that has the same Pink Panther cartoon on the logo.
Oh. No, but the cartoon, like,
It's called an inside
I understand.
does
joke.
it not have anything to do with the cartoon? Because I thought
No,
they
it
branded
doesn't
it with
because
the cartoon.
because the original movies came out before the cartoon. The original movies, way back in the day.
Okay, then what's the deal with the new one? Is my point.
The new movies.
It's a remake.
The new.
It's just a remake of the
reboot.
older movies, or sorry, it's a reboot, a re something of the original movies that once again does not have anything to do with the original with the show.
that I could have.
The show is its like own thing. Even if they have the Pink Panther itself, that probably just came along because of the movie,
That's so stupid.
or I mean
though.
because of the show, and they put it in the movie.
I want to say the artwork of the original Pink Panther, like the cartoon character, was in the original movies on like the covers,
I'll fucking look it up.
but it had nothing to do with them
Dun-dun.
anyway.
Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun.
Maybe it meant something. I don't know. Maybe that's what the. Maybe that
What
was.
made you think of Pink Panther?
Because we were talking about old cartoons and
That's
stuff.
the first thought somebody's had of Pink Panther.
God damn it! Yeah, you're right. The Pink Panther's right here on the front cover.
Yeah, that's what
maybe
he's
Inspector.
always had nothing to do with
Maybe
it.
Inspector Crusoe is called the Pink Panther. I don't know. Maybe that's a nickname for him.
I think I would appreciate it more if I understood what was going on.
If you had, yeah.
You gotta drive the minivan.
Maybe it's just because those newer movies don't make any sense. Maybe because they're so out of context from what the originals were. Maybe there were context to the Pink Panther itself in the older movies. I will
Whatever it
read,
is,
you
I
will
just
talk.
don't understand.
I read, you talk.
What were we talking about again?
Shows.
All right.
Games.
Right.
You know what would be an awesome movie and or show?
What?
Based it off the Injustice games. Because their stories are so much more interesting than the DC movies.
I agree with you, but what kind of gets me is that they have all the rights and abilities to do that, but yet they're still going with the DCU that they have. So I'm just saying, maybe Warner Brothers should pick somebody else to write their movies.
I have news about that. What did you say?
I said, you know what would be a good game that should make a show or movie
Oh,
about?
the Justice League? Okay.
Injustice.
Oh, Injustice. Yeah, absolutely. Well, they did make a game about it.
No, if they
talking
made
about
a
making a movie.
movie out of the game.
Oh, okay. No,
You know the thing we were talking about?
So the original plot line was still about the Pink Panther diamond, and so that's why they have the Pink Panther.
That's why it's called Pink Panther.
Yeah, that's why it's called Pink Panther. They put the little mascot there
But
as
I
what it
said that
is.
earlier.
Okay,
But,
so that makes sense. That completely makes sense. and I was being dumb.
What?
There you go. Moo. About Justice League.
Cows go moo.
About Justice League. There's news about Justice League.
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder has stepped down from doing Justice League, and Josh Whedon is going to take over. It came at a heavy price, though.
Did they have to sacrifice his kid or something?
Yeah, because Zack Snyder's kid, his daughter died.
Wow. Whoa.
Good call, Kyle.
Jeez.
Your spidey senses were tingling.
We wanted this to happen so bad, but not in the way it did. So we're sorry about that. But now that we got Josh Whedon on board,
What has Josh Whedon done? Anything notable?
little thing called
Zack
The
Snyder.
Avengers.
Zack Snyder was the writer Gotham
really?
I
deserved,
think so. Yeah.
but not the writer that Gotham needed.
I can't remember if I'm mixing Josh Whedon up with. I can't remember. Which one Josh Whedon did. Did he do Guardians? Did he do Avengers? Did he do Josh Whedon?
We Don. Hello, Don.
Hey, Dad.
See, I'm gonna fuck this up.
What was the new movie that came out recently?
Yeah, he did Avengers.
Pirates of the Caribbean. That's what it was.
He did Avengers.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can
Ooh.
put together the mess that Zack Snyder's left him.
Honestly, I don't know.
It just depends. It just depends on what stage they were at when shooting.
Sure.
Depends like how the script was written.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Surely they're pretty far along.
I think-
it's been a while since
They're still gonna have Zyder's visuals, which is gonna be cool.
I feel like
His slow motion's probably in there.
I'm probably going to be thinking about this in the same way that I'm thinking about World War II zombies, cautiously optimistic. I'm going to say I want everything to be great, but I'm not going to expect any of it to be good at all.
My thing is that because it's a Justice League movie and like they've kind of gotten their bullshit out of the way, I was super excited for Batman vs Superman. I was like, fuck yeah, Batman vs Superman. You know, first Superman was whatever. You know,
Whatever.
But the Man of Steel was like, whatever. Batman vs Superman. Oh my god, I can't wait. And it was just like,
The cool thing about Man of Steel, though, is you got to see Dragon Ball Z fighting.
yeah. And then in Suicide Squad, everybody thought that movie was going to be good. And I was just like, that movie's not going to be good.
It had everything that it needed to be.
No,
good.
it didn't.
It did too.
No, it
It was
didn't.
copying
You can't
the
just throw
Avengers.
fucking Will Smith in there
It's not.
And-
That's not what I'm talking
and
about.
what's her face, and then it's like, there you go.
It didn't even give
That's not
enough
what I'm talking about at
background
all.
story.
I'm talking about the original Suicide Squad. It's just pretty cool idea, and it could have been done perfectly.
The concept of the original Suicide Squad,
Yes.
sure, but the concept of that movie, no.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I know that's not what you're talking about, but that's what the problem was. The movie itself is the problem. You can't attach it to anything else.
I mean, they could have.
It's a bunch of non-interesting characters, as far as I was concerned. I didn't know any of them. Like Harley, I knew them, but I didn't think they're very interesting.
Captain Boomerang's cool.
Who has
Killer
Harley?
Croc's cool.
Not in that form.
Not in
They
that
couldn't.
form.
They couldn't really have done.
Deadshot and not Deathstroke.
Yeah.
No, that's too cool.
Exactly.
My point is that they should have done a story, or at least like
Yeah,
some
they should
sort
have done
of
a story. You're right.
Yeah, they should have. They should have done some sort of build up and then had that movie, because you can't just straight up have that movie. I don't know anything about any of them, and I don't really want to care.
No
think-
Joker.
The problem with Suicide Squad, I think we all already know what the problem is with that movie. So I don't think we need to rehash it because
It's not.
we
Not
yelled.
Suicide Squad.
Did we
Yeah.
yell about this? No, we yelled about Batman vs Superman a lot on this podcast before.
Yeah.
Not Suicide Squad though.
I haven't seen it.
But that's okay.
How
We
do you
don't
feel
need to.
about no? But like, how do you feel about Jared Leto's
Leto.
Joker?
I say, oh, I don't know what his name
It's
is.
well,
I've
I have a
heard Leto,
friend who's
but-
got his last name spelled exactly the same, and his is Leto.
That doesn't mean it's pronounced the same.
It looks exactly the same.
That doesn't mean it's pronounced the same.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna call it
Mario.
Leto.
And the other one.
I've always heard it
Mario,
pronounced Leto.
Mario and Mario.
Okay. Well, I know him,
and-
so I'm going to say Leo.
Sure, it doesn't matter. But his performance was terrible. And to be fair, there was a lot working against him specifically, and also he did do a bad job. So, like, one of the things is that why is that guy the Joker? Why? He's not threatening. He's not like the Joker. That's not what he is.
Was his performance
He's
bad
stupid.
in that role, or was just the character bad to begin with?
Very bad performance. It was both.
Okay.
It was both. And there's a reason. Okay, so the character was written badly to begin with. He had a lot more scenes, and he filmed a ton of that movie that was just never shown. One of the things that they did with him was they wanted him to film scenes multiple times, but with like different emotions, just like each time, which is dumb because the direction of the scene, like, if you're following a specific direction and you're like, okay, now you be happy, now you be mad, now you, like, they're just telling him to do all this shit and he has to, like, redo the same scenes.
Did they not know what they wanted, or was he doing such a bad job they had to keep changing it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's definitely, they didn't know what they wanted, because he's a good actor, but it's like, and they did this throughout the whole entire movie, and then there was a bunch of reshoots as well, and the script got changed, and
It had a horrible development cycle.
it just went, it just went terribly. But also, and I don't know, it's hard for me to like blame him for doing a bad job, just because it's like, I don't know what he could have done. It's hard to judge, I guess, as well, but that's just not the Joker. That's just not who he is. He's a thug, is what he is in that movie, and
Yeah, and
that's just not what he is.
thinking back to what I remember from the movie, just watching it probably twice, and thinking back, the main thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking about his Joker is, I mean, they had a bit of the crazy there, a bit of it.
That doesn't matter.
Well, okay, I'm just saying, this is all I remember.
Okay.
They had a bit of the crazy there, and they definitely had the weirdness of the relationship between him and Harley Quinn.
What?
But what doesn't make sense at all is there's supposed to be an explanation of why the Joker didn't just just kill her, because that's what he would have done normally. They didn't really explore why he keeps her around, even though she's like supposed to be just as crazy as him. That's why she loves him, but it doesn't.
What are you saying?
Okay, when I'm thinking back to what I think of the Joker, when I'm thinking about the 2 times that I watched the movie, I get his craziness and I get a small amount of the relationship between him and Harley, and that's basically all I remember.
Oh, okay.
And then I was just kind of talking about how they could have done better they could have done everything better, but how they did some parts good in the relationship, but then they don't explain a lot, which was the whole movie.
The whole Joker himself was bad, not just the relationship part.
I don't
That's
think
not
they
what I'm
did a
talking
terrible
about.
job.
Yeah.
They did a terrible job. I mean,
They
they
should
didn't
have
even
casted Mark Hamill.
They might as well have, for fuck's sake. Well, the thing, like,
I mean, he would have done a great voice.
they didn't even do a good job with the relationship part.
The joke here, Kyle, is that Mark Hamill was the voice actor for Joker for many years.
Luke Skywalker plays the Joker in almost every rendition of animated Joker.
Yeah.
Seriously. Did you ever play the Batman Arkham Asylum games?
Yes.
You know Joker's voice?
Yes.
That's Luke Skywalker.
Is that the same as the animated series Batman? Like
Most
way
of
back
them,
when we were
yes.
kids?
Yes, it is.
There's some different
The
ones.
original animated series, the new Batman animated series,
Then that would have been great. Then.
Justice League Unlimited.
I agree that they could have done the relationship should have been better, obviously, and that it wasn't good. But
They made it seem like it was almost a working relationship, which is weird.
right, they captured the abusive one, the abusive part of it makes sense, but they didn't like how is that going to work?
Well, that's the thing. You gotta think.
But it looks like it works.
You gotta think about this movie, right? And you gotta think, why the fuck should that matter?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why does that matter in this movie?
Says of
a
all
good
the
question. It
problems,
shouldn't.
that is
But that was the center.
least among them.
That would be a good movie by itself.
I don't think it was the center. You know why? Because I don't know what the center of this movie was. I don't know what the I understand what the plot was. I am assuming the
Sort
Joker,
of.
I don't know what the subplot was. Was that a mix of was that Amanda Waller subplot? Was that was that Joker and Harley subplot, or was that a mix between the both? I don't.
If we're trying to draw lines in this jumbled mess of a movie, we would say the main plot is the Enchantress, all right, or whatever. I think it was the Enchantress.
Yeah, that's her
Yeah. So that's the main plot, right? Then we have like 3 or 4 different subplots. We have Joker and Harley Quinn. We have Deadshot. We have Amanda Waller. And then there's the rest of the Suicide Squad. And their small, barely...
Backstory.
Yeah.
Small backstory.
Well, I mean,
Those would be all the plots. But it was executed so poorly that you would have to, make a gigantic brain map to them.
you're mixing plot with plot is like overview.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you don't mix plot with backstory of a character.
Exposition.
I'm saying that the plots...
Plot points is what you're saying. What do you say? Is that what you're saying?
There's 3 different there are 3 or 4 different plots going on at the same time, and each of those
Well,
are
there's
on there.
there's main plot and then there's a subplot.
Yeah,
But I'm saying I'm confused about what the subplot is. There's usually
that's
a
what I'm
subplot
saying.
to a movie.
Like there's 3 or 4. It's why it's confusing.
If we think about Titanic, the movie Titanic, the main plot of that movie is a love story between Jack and Rose. It's the main plot of that movie. The subplot is the Titanic sinking.
Yeah,
Okay, that's very clear. You can very clear cut, and you can see that. The main plot of this Suicide Squad was the Enchantress is evil, and the Suicide Squad's got to take him out. The subplot was whatever the fuck Amanda Waller was doing. I don't know, and then also the Joker and Harley for some reason,
yeah.
and whatever the Joker was doing.
And I'm saying it's also Deadshot's.
No,
Yeah, him.
no, that's part of the main story.
What him
part- it's
dealing? Him dealing with the whole his daughter and all that stuff.
It's not a. It's
That wouldn't be part of the main
It's
story.
a plot point of the
Yeah.
main plot, but that's not a subplot on its own. That's not a different plot. That's not a different story. That is a part of the main story itself.
I mean, to me,
Those are
it seemed like-
driving motivations of each of the characters, which go along with the plot of the movie.
Yeah, but his didn't change.
What does that have to do with
Some
anything?
people's change.
What does
with
that have
the
to do
plot.
with? What does that have to do with anything, though?
I'm saying that it's a different plot.
It's not a plot, no, because it goes along with the main story.
Whatever.
It goes
man.
along with the main plot.
Whatever, man.
His story goes along with the main plot because it's his motivation. It furthers the plot.
This argument should be literally exactly a reason why it's so fucking confusing.
No, you're confused, and I'm telling you.
I'm listening to you, but I'm just saying that the fact that it's not easy to be like, this is what this is and this is what this is just another reason or point
I guess so.
of
I guess
why
so.
it's so damn confusing.
I guess so. I mean, it's either that or you don't know how movies work. But right.
You know,
like-
you don't have to be an
fucking
asshole.
with you. I know.
Movie like-
I know.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 had a lot of subplots going on in it, but it worked out fine.
Well, yeah.
All right, let's not throw around that word subplot anymore.
Yeah, well, it had a lot of character arcs in it.
Let's not do that. It's
They had a lot of little stories
had a lot
that
of-
added up to the plot.
had a lot of. Well,
What do you want to call those?
Okay.
Character momentum. Because that moves the actual plot.
I would agree with character arcs
Yeah,
as a thing.
and it worked out fine in that movie.
I don't know. There's got to be a better word than subplot. There's got to be another term. Because like it's I don't know.
Words.
It's a story of its own. Is what a subplot is. It's its own thing.
So it's a story inception.
Yeah. So it is.
Spoilers. Ego.
What?
What?
What'd you say?
I said spoilers. Ego.
Doesn't make any sense. You want to make sense for people?
That was a spoiler for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Ego.
Ego?
That's all you have to say because ego makes
How's that a
perfect sense.
spoiler? You know he's in the movie. That's not a spoiler.
Because
You're saying his name.
would you shut up for a second and let me explain?
Go ahead, explain the
got
non-spoiler.
another-
Because I was
Spoiler for
just
you.
gonna say
Thanos.
Got another one, Star-Lord.
ego and then explain why ego's name perfectly describes him, and that's a huge spoiler for the whole movie because that's kind of the plot of the movie.
I still haven't seen this movie.
The plot of the movie is his ego?
The plot of the movie is Ego, who his name is hilarious.
I got
by
a-
the way,
I got a spoiler.
he's a parasite.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. That's a
No,
spoiler.
that's an actual spoiler, so let's not do that.
I'm so
I'm fine with the ego spoilers, because who cares?
I was literally trying to explain
that
to
was a
you
good part.
why his name is so funny because he's like Ego.
Funny's not the word. Ironic would be the word.
Irony is funny.
It can be, yeah.
It's the you guys,
Only
whatever,
sweet
man.
irony.
You know
is
what?
funny.
most cases.
You know what?
sure.
Not even worth it.
How much is it worth?
It's humorous, but it's not ha-ha
About
funny.
$3.50.
It's not ha-ha funny. Let's get on to something else,
Yep.
for fuck's sake.
Gosh, we can all agree it's a bad movie.
We're still talking
You're
about
talking about
movies.
Suicide Squad, right?
We're still talking about movies, so let's still talk about
Guardians of
movies.
the Galaxy was all right.
Talking about Spider-Man, right? We talked about Spider-Man on the last podcast. One of the things...
Wait, Homecoming?
Well, it's not Spider-Man Homecoming news.
It's about the following.
It's about the actor himself.
Oh, okay.
Is he alive?
And the number of movies. What?
Oh, okay. Thought you were gonna say he was dead. Everybody's been
Oh,
dying.
okay. No, I was wondering how many movies he was going to be in, and I think his next movie that he's going to be in, I don't know when this will take place or what he's doing, or when he's doing it, I mean, but Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man Homecoming, and the future Spider-Man movies that there will be, he will play a young Nathan Drake in the Uncharted movie series.
Well,
That's something we didn't say earlier.
Speaking of video game movies, should have said this earlier, but Ubisoft is apparently trying to
He
make
says shit weird, doesn't he?
Yeah, I
Sorry.
know.
Ubisoft, whatever you want to say.
Ubisoft.
That's cool, whatever, man.
Or Ubisoft.
No, you said-
I never heard Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
Always.
He said
How was I
Ubisoft correctly, but the tempo was so bizarre. Ubisoft.
He dropped the I.
Yeah.
He put
Anyways,
an E
what's
there.
your point?
Yuba.
You guys are
Ubisoft.
over analyzing stupid
No,
points.
it's just amazing.
It takes
I've
me
never heard
out of
that.
what you're
This
saying.
gaming company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, production company, whatever
Yeah,
you want to call them.
it's game.
Assholes. That's what I like to call them.
They're. What are they?
Publishers?
Don't pre-order
No.
shit.
Well, they publish stuff, but
Published a broken ass Unity game, whatever. AC Unity sucked ass.
Okay,
story.
what's your original point?
My point
yeah.
is that the Assassin's Creed movie was the first of a long line of movies that Ubisoft wants to put out. So
They
they're gonna
want to put out.
Oh, they've already
Will
got
they?
these. They've already got these like in
Slated?
and
everything.
Some of them are in production.
That's fucking stupid.
The Division,
Right.
For Honor.
Okay, well,
Wait.
the Division. Well, what the fuck would they even do with
Ghost
that movie?
Recon, Rainbow Six.
Okay, those are fine because those are like Tom Clancy things, and Tom Clancy movies can be cool.
That's true.
So,
But I'm not finished yet.
Game?
Yeah, it is.
yeah, but yeah.
Basically, all of their games.
Sorry,
Why not?
if it's not Splinter Cell, I don't actually care. Because those are like
They might do a Splinter Cell one, but it might be in the same universe as Rainbow Six
They're-
and
their new Tom Clancy stuff is like isn't character driven.
yeah.
They aren't really,
So
apart from Splinter Cell.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their new stuff. When's the last Splinter Cell game?
I said Tom
Conviction,
Clancy's
right?
been around for a while.
Well, yeah.
It was Splinter Cell Conviction, right? It was in
I think it was the new one.
like 2010 maybe. Let me check.
I was gonna say 2010. 2010.
Timmy.
What did I say? He's gonna be Nathan Drake. Yeah, Tom Holland's
Yeah.
gonna be Nathan Drake.
They've been, apparently, haven't they been
I think
in the
he would be
works
good.
of doing that for a while? An Uncharted movie?
An Uncharted movie? I
think.
can't
I mean,
remember.
I think it's been on the table forever, and they just finally
remember.
The
doing it.
game plays like a movie.
Yeah.
They're gonna have an Uncharted movie. I wonder if that's gonna come out as the same time as Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider movie.
Is there going to be another Tomb Raider movie?
Yeah, there's gonna be. They got an actress and everything for it.
Oh, really?
I can't remember.
Did she have big boobies?
No, which is
They
fine.
got to be triangle boobs, man.
They were thinking about Daisy Ridley to be the new Tomb Raider, and I would actually be okay with that.
Yeah, it'd be fine. She's good in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
Yeah.
So why not?
Gotta have bigger boobs.
No.
Who cares about?
Angelina Jolie got rid of hers, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Did she like?
She had breast cancer.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Okay. But so there's another. Do you think what do you think would be better? I know those earlier Tomb Raiders, they weren't the best things in the world. But do you think like a new Tomb Raider or a new Nathan Drake, as far as I don't know.
Well, Indiana Jones is dead, so bring
Yeah.
out the new ones.
You know he's not.
They're making another one.
We talked about it already. Yeah. They're
Harrison
making
Ford's coming back again.
Indiana-
because Shia LaBeouf went nuts.
Indiana Jones 5. He didn't go nuts. He's just an artist. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
The last release of a Splinter Cell was Splinter Cell Blacklist on August 20th of 2013.
2013. Okay. It's still forever ago.
Yeah, Conviction was the one before that, and it was...
That was the one that was really good.
I always wanted to play it, never got to. It was in... Come on. 2010. We were right.
Okay.
You know another franchise that needs to be rebooted? Resident Evil, the movies franchise, which they are rebooting.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Honestly,
That's fine. Why
I think
not?
I think they made a Dead Space, but
A Dead Space what?
I think it was
you hear that?
animation.
They made a Dead Space.
I think it was an animation.
There's an animation.
Yeah, they made an anime. Yeah.
But honestly, if you get like some good horror people in on like a live action Dead Space, not even like take Isaac Clarke out of this, take the whole main story out of this, and just like go to one of the SCAF teams and just what went on their ship before they went down. Like maybe show up what went on in the Roanoke.
Scaff?
Yeah, it was the people that were on the
Okay.
on the original place when they found the markers.
So you're talking about making an Alien movie?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Alien, but it's not really. I mean,
Or The Thing? Which one? Are we talking about The Thing or are we talking about Alien here?
we're talking
one's-
about Dead Space.
Xenomorphs or...
Whatever the fuck The Thing
Necromorphs.
was.
It's literally Xenomorphs and Necromorphs.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but no, like the thing about necromorphs is you could make any kind of monster you want to, because literally what it is just dead flesh coming to kill you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It could be extremely creepy.
Make it when they
and
find the marker for the first time.
I think they already did that in one of the games.
Sure, but they don't have... Who cares? Make a movie out of that.
I mean, I guess, but I kind of want to see something like kind of new, but like I
Part
don't
of
know.
the-
Dead Space has always been scary. Like just playing the games.
Part of the problem is that when they make these video game movies, is they want to do a story that's already in the game. They want to do that, so
They always have to do the origin, though. Origin story.
they got to do that, right?
They have to do that.
So the Assassin's Creed movie, when you do that movie and you don't know what the fuck is going on at all,
I didn't watch
and
it.
then it makes sense.
Did they do an origin in that?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Okay.
make sense.
And it's not whatever his name is.
Desmond?
Desmond. It's not Desmond.
Nope.
And it's just there's just a lot of things that don't make sense, but they've got to do the job of like making a game into a movie, and so some things you got to make sense, like instead of him laying down on a table and being like put into the Matrix, or whatever the fuck it's called, being
Animus,
being put into the Animus, they have like a claw thing or whatever,
which is the Animus.
which is the Animus in that movie, and it sort of makes sense if you want to think about it. You want to think about it like this: do you want to go from shots of him being in the past to him laying on a fucking table the whole entire time? Is that what you want? And then people looking at a screen, or do we want
My point
to have a
is-
shot of him in the Animus back in time, and then him in the Animus, in the future doing shit? It's kind of weird.
There's no point in having him on the claw. You could have just had him in the past the whole time. Makes your shots a whole lot easier.
I guess so if you want to, but they are gonna go back.
They have to make it look cool, I guess, but it
It's
doesn't.
not even that. They have to tie it in with the future shit.
Yeah, they can go like back shots when he's doing something and he's getting like sort of desynced, like when he's getting I don't know, they could do something else and have it go back to them looking at the screen and him sitting on the table going like this because he's getting attacked or whatever, which is what happens in the game.
No, but that's what I'm saying, though.
But they could.
That's what I'm saying. They don't want to have to keep on going back to shots of him just laying on a fucking table.
They don't have to do that all the time. They could do that like 3 times in the movie, and it wouldn't be over repetitive, and it would convey the same meaning.
It just depends on how it's written, but sure.
I think if they cut back to him just lying on a table or whatever, they would just say it looked like the Matrix. Because that's essentially what the
That's
Matrix
probably a
is.
good point as well.
Probably what they're saying, but I think that it doesn't matter. My opinion, obviously.
I think it would be boring, but it just depends on the movie itself. It just depends on everything else that's going on in the movie. One thing that they did was they started back in time, and then they went forward in time to when he was a kid, and then they went forward in time to when he was going to be put in the execution chair or be euthanized or whatever. I wish instead of that whole bullshit, because who cares, they would have just started with him in the Animus. Done like a Desmond thing. Start with him in the Animus, and then they get pulled back, and then
Explain some story.
And then it's like, yeah, like just like how they do Desmond. Like that kind of made sense. There was kind of mystery there, and like
it pulls you in, leaves you asking questions that can be asked, but answers enough of them that you still want to watch.
Yeah, and it's also hard for games a lot of times to be movies, because movies are very short, clean, centralized stories that they have good theming, but to stretch out into 2 hours could be kind of hard, and you don't want to put too much in it, and a video game can last you for way longer than 2 hours. So
my point about the Dead Space one specifically is that where it's the horror genre, you can end it with the last character dying, or them not dying, or them spreading the horror somewhere else. So
he's just talking about Alien.
I know. They could end it one or two ways.
Honestly,
they all die, or they don't all die.
Calling it now.
They all die, they don't all die, or they don't all die because they're all going to die later. 3.
He's just talking about Alien.
I understand you're saying that, but this is
The different
could
universe.
be honestly, Alien's not
Sure.
scary to me at all. I don't find it scary at all. I don't think it's a horrible horror movie.
It's not. Well, yeah.
Not like
it's
that.
Not even,
I mean, it's like survival. Cool.
it's horror themed.
Right. My point is that in Dead Space, it can get a whole lot creepier and like, I'm going to throw up at what I just saw and have nightmares
You
about
want to
it
make it gory
than-
horror.
Because Dead Space,
wanna make
it's
it
on a ship,
You want to make it shock horror.
and there's a bunch of aliens on
What?
the ship.
yeah.
There actually are no aliens on the ship
And
at
all the crew
all.
dies one by one.
Yeah.
The crew dies one by one,
Except for
sure.
the one main one who's got a
But
big
none
gun.
of them are
Yeah.
aliens. It's basically
Or a
zombies.
big walking power suit.
Yeah.
None of them are in a power suit.
What's
That's
Desmond
not
in?
real.
What's that thing he's in?
Isaac.
What's Isaac in?
Desmond, Isaac,
I know.
he's in an Eva suit. It's a suit. It's a space suit.
It's in a suit.
Did you guys like get off the fucking alien thing? I'm telling
Would
you,
you
Dead
get
Space
off of it?
would be way better than Alien. There's no aliens.
Dead Space would not be better than Alien.
Your opinion is trash.
No, it's not. You couldn't make a fucking Dead Space movie that wasn't Alien.
You could make
Because
the
it's
Alien movie, but
fucking
have Dead
Alien.
Space people.
The video
only
game.
alien.
Replace all the necromorphs with xenomorphs.
The only
That's the fucking game.
that is not the fucking game.
The
The only aliens in fucking Dead Space are the ones that made the damn markers. And that's it, and you don't fucking see them.
What are the markers again? Where are
It's a
they?
big spiral thing that makes people go crazy.
I'm
Makes
too
people go
busy
crazy.
making fun of them and calling it alien.
I haven't finished the game.
Fuck you. Call it fucking alien. You haven't even played them.
I'm not done.
Not
I've seen them play.
You
Hey,
haven't even got
actually-
to the part where the face hugger gets you in Dead Space.
Oh, okay.
And then Half-Life?
hilarious. Actually, if you do have Dead Space on your Xbox,
I do.
Do you have Dead Space 3?
No.
Gosh, why would
Okay,
you
I
want
was
to play
gonna say,
that
why?
one?
If you had Dead Space 3, I could play it with you.
Why would we play that though?
Because of the
Because
multiplayer.
good game.
Why would we play that? What?
There's multiplayer in Dead Space 2. There's multiplayer in Dead Space 2.
There's multiplayer in Dead Space 3 as well.
But in Dead Space 2, you play as the aliens and you try to kill the dudes.
They're not fucking aliens.
They're monsters.
They're necromorphs.
They're monsters.
They're dead people.
Xenomorphs.
Are there nice sprites too?
Would you describe a xenomorph as a monster?
I would describe a xenomorph as an alien race.
It's a monster, okay.
Not really.
And would you
Don't find it scary at all.
Got that squared away.
Yeah.
Predator is more of a monster than an alien.
What
No, he's
are you
not.
talking
What
about?
are you going on about? Monster. He's not a monster.
He's a dude.
He's really fucking smart.
Yeah.
Not monsters aren't smart. King Kong, idiot.
King Kong is not a monster either. He's a gorilla, big gorilla.
He's a kaiju.
Depends on your view.
Godzilla's
It's a
a
fucking
monster.
What does kaiju mean in Japanese?
Monster!
Okay.
Godzilla
Did I call the
is more of
necromorphs a
monster.
fucking kaiju? No. Although there are some really gigantic necromorphs.
Queen.
There's no fucking queen! Would you get off this alien shit?
Maybe he is an alien.
I'm just saying it would be scarier. In my opinion, I think aliens not scary at all.
They are.
For you, maybe. You pussy.
No. I don't get scared of scary movies.
I used to.
Aliens are scary.
Honestly, the only scary movies I ever get scared at are like the ones that are like,
What?
was this real? Was this? No, this wasn't real. Was this real?
What?
No, this wasn't
Jeepers Creepers.
Are they scary because they're unknown? Or are they scary for some other reason?
Tension. There's tension in those movies that kill.
It's both.
And it is, but yeah, and it is the unknown.
Once you learn their weaknesses and stuff, it's not as scary.
real. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like for...
What was the whole thing about that Alien VR game?
It was interesting in that
You didn't have a
alien
fucking gun.
isolation.
Yeah, and you had to run
You
around.
had guns.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, but the alien is itself the monster.
Yeah.
Is it's AI, so it's completely it actually stalks you. It's not like scripted events and stuff.
Yeah, you don't
So you
know
don't know where it's coming.
You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's the scare of not knowing.
Like, I have to say,
Tension.
the first Dead Space was
Not just
slightly-
gore.
Was slightly scarier. It's not just pure gore. It's all of it put together. Gore.
They also
What's
had
wrong with
blades.
gore?
It's overused sometimes. Just sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like a main.
Goo. Too much goo.
You're right.
Oh, there's goo in here. There's blood everywhere. The walls are covered in blood. Oh, there's goo.
I can't believe it.
Look at all that. Good golly, all this goo.
Look at all that goo.
No,
Someone's head explodes and gets blood all over.
I agree.
Oh, there's goo.
Gooey.
I agree, but in Dead
Get the
Space,
xenomorph out of here.
in Dead Space, you kind of can't overuse it because it's all about like the flesh itself is being controlled.
I
So
can't overuse
you
it.
can, but
There are
it's
monsters everywhere.
it's
Alien
more
is
the,
one.
It's more the point that you want to keep each other alive, mainly because if somebody dies, they're gonna like kill you. It's kind of really cool.
You're not making very convincing arguments.
You know what? I don't have to make a convincing argument for you.
You could literally say that for every horror movie.
Zombies.
Yeah.
Any horror movie.
I mean, I guess it's kind of like zombies.
Yeah, it is.
It's kind of like
Except
Jason.
You don't
It's
have to
kinda
be
like
bit.
Freddy.
You can just die from somebody shooting you in the head, and you turn
You
into
literally
a
need a
necromorph.
face hugger to get you in Dead Space.
No, you literally need a face hugger to get you an alien.
In Dead Space, a dead body does not turn into a necromorph until a face hugger hits him.
That's not true. There's little head thingies that reanimate dead bodies after they've already been animated the first time.
It's the bat thing that puts his thing in their skull.
That's what he's talking about.
Those
Am I
are two
wrong?
different things.
The bodies do not.
You're talking
turn.
about Dead Space and Dead Space 2. You're talking about the flying necromorphs.
Sure, the canon ones, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes those add extra flesh to a body that has already been...
They're literally face huggers.
Okay.
They are not face
They
huggers.
jab a thing in their head and they turn into an alien.
All right.
That's
The Flood do
not
that.
it at all.
It is. What are
There's
you
actually
talking
one
about?
thing that looks a lot like the Flood on Dead Space 3.
Okay.
You know, this flight actually scared me when I played Halo the first time.
Alien.
Those were aliens.
Aliens.
The term alien
Yeah.
just means it's not from the planet you're on.
Well,
I have a
all that
question.
dead flesh is from that planet. That's why it's
From a
not
spaceship.
an alien. No, it's not.
I have a really dumb question. How did the universes between Predator and Alien combine?
They're in the same universe.
No, how did the movies come about?
How did
Oh,
the
I have an
movie?
idea.
How did AVP come about? I don't know.
Speaking of
Was
that,
it the
every time I play
creators?
Mortal
I was gonna.
Kombat
It was just.
and somebody plays Alien, I always have to be Predator.
I was gonna say, is it just? Is the guy that does I can't. Hold on.
We'll have to do
I
some
think it was
research on this
same
topic.
studios, maybe.
I don't know. Need to look Predator up. It's been a while.
Which came first, Alien or Predator?
Dead Space.
Alien.
Just kidding. Why do you guys gotta hate on Dead Space?
I love
like
Dead
it.
Space.
We're not hating on
but it's
Dead
just
Space.
like Alien.
It's Alien the movie, which
I
is
don't-
it's Alien the video game, which is awesome.
Don't.
Besides that Alien video game,
don't.
which was awesome, that AVP video game.
The one where you can play as the humans or the Predator or the Alien?
Yep.
I wanted to play that, never got to.
I played the beta. It was pretty cool.
The Who-Mans.
The humans like had the most firepower, but were like the easiest to kill.
Mm-hmm.
The Predator had the most like tech, but was a little bit tougher, but like was it not as much damage? I guess like Aliens had a bunch of health and could do.
There was
of damage.
only like one Predator.
Yeah.
There's different amounts of teams. There's a lot of humans. There's like a couple Predators and like more aliens, but not as many humans.
Yeah.
And the aliens could run on walls and stuff and sense people through walls.
And you could spit acid at people.
Yeah.
La 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 la
Breakfast.
la 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 la.
Breakfast.
They're both owned by Fox.
Oh, really?
That's how.
I like trains.
I was right.
Speaking of video games, let's get off this discussion about how Dead Space is exactly like Alien.
Not at all.
Speaking of video games, Red Dead 2 is delayed until spring 2018.
Why?
Because it's Rockstar.
Why not? Who gives a shit?
Make
Hey,
it good.
You're absolutely right, Kyle. It is because it's Rockstar.
Okay. Fair enough.
They're always going to delay their games once,
Twice.
maybe even twice.
Millions of times.
I'm okay
GTA
with them. I'm okay with them delaying it
GTA
as
5
many
was
times
fucking huge, though. To
as
be
many
fair.
as many times as they want, as long as the online works when it's supposed to fucking work.
It's Red Dead 2.
Well,
We can wait.
that's fine. GTA 5 got released too early because when I played it, you could play single player for 2 weeks straight because the multiplayer didn't even come out till after that.
Yeah.
Then after when it came out, you couldn't do anything for the first week. Like I couldn't even log on.
Well,
the
that's
first
always
week.
the case.
That's every multiplayer.
That's always the case for every multiplayer game.
Every huge multiplayer thing.
You want to talk about
That's
shitty multiplayer?
Not it at all,
I
dude.
can talk about how I tried to once again get on For Honor not too long ago and still couldn't play a goddamn game.
They're basically getting DDoSed the first week the game comes out.
Their servers are getting
Every
overloaded. That's happening
Well,
Every online
had-
game sucks in the first week or
because
two.
everybody's fucking on it.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of games that I've gotten on the online straight after getting the game and it works perfectly fine.
On
Destiny was perfectly fine when it released because I remember I picked it up from GameStop that night.
If that game doesn't work, then that's fucking ridiculous because that is what that game is.
It's also
The
Destiny, which is a
online-
new IP as compared to the massive game that was GTA 5.
and that's also one of the only other
Call
games
of
for the
Duty.
Xbox that came out around that time. It was like one of the bigger games.
Call of Duty
Call of Duty what?
works. Any of them always
They're
work.
getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
And they're already
have the
used
same
to
number
having
of
fuck tons
servers.
stuff.
That's what I'm saying. They should know you're getting a
GTA
fuck ton of
5
stuff.
Online was a whole new thing.
Yeah,
was fucking
wasn't
huge
it marketed as its
well.
own like separate
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, it
It
was.
was really ambitious.
And I don't understand why they didn't prepare more.
I guarantee they prepared as best they could. I doubt they were just lounging around. It's like,
You
well,
can-
I guess it'll go fine.
This is Rockstar we're talking about. Mm-hmm. This is a competent game company.
Yes,
It's,
I agree.
this isn't Ubisoft.
Sometimes I question
we're talking about where I can't play For Honor again.
They got delayed, and you're upset.
No, I'm not upset about it being delayed.
He's just upset about the multiplayer.
I'm upset about stuff being broken when it launches. Because even if you could actually connect,
Just don't buy it.
it was just completely messed up.
Wait until it's
pre-order.
fixed and then buy it.
That was back before the don't pre-order shit part of my life, okay?
And yet you still pre-order.
I don't.
Didn't you pre-order?
Didn't I pre-order what? Exactly. I didn't pre-order anything.
I can't remember at the time.
If you're talking about Zombies Chronicles, no. I'm not going to pre-order that until the week before it comes out because it's just a map pack and it already has worked on PlayStation 4. There's no reason not to.
No, you pre-ordered GTA 5. Well, no,
That was what I just talked about.
I don't remember the last thing you pre-ordered.
GTA 5.
Was that really the last thing you?
I'm pretty sure.
I actually ordered it twice.
Halo 5.
For me too.
Yeah, it would have been Halo 5 then.
Multiplayer doesn't work. Whole game is trash.
Doesn't work.
I did not say the whole game was trash. I just said it pisses me off.
This
I had to wait a couple of weeks.
This damn game. I had to wait a couple weeks. Shit.
Well, it wasn't even that I couldn't
I mean,
log
it takes
into
me
the
longer than a
multiplayer.
couple weeks.
Or once you got into the multiplayer, there was a shit ton of bugs that
That
they would
happens.
literally
It's
they
totally
would literally delete your character.
It's totally a lot more understandable for how big fucking GTA 5 was.
Well, yeah,
Especially for the fact that it came out on the 360.
60 fucking gigabytes.
I got it on the Xbox One because I bought my Xbox One for the Master Chief Collection.
No, they came out like a year or two later.
That's what I thought. You're crazy.
And the PC was even longer afterwards.
Yeah, well, the PC always is.
That's bullshit.
No,
It is.
It was.
it did not come out for like a year or two later. It came out on Xbox One on launch because it
No,
came out
you're-
after Master Chief. Let me look this up because
Master Chief
I'm trying to remember.
Collection didn't come out
On
at launch
360.
either.
Give me just a second.
The 360
I'm looking up. I don't remember whether I started on the three.
And
I
PS3
did start on the 360.
Yeah.
you're
came
right.
out a couple years before.
I remember going to your house.
That's right.
And you had your original Abraham Lincoln character
Yeah,
on the 360.
yeah. And
'Cause
then I
I-
moved him
'cause
over to
you
my
brought it-
Xbox.
Well, when you lived back there, you
Yeah.
had it then, and then you
He
came to
had
my
a-
house
he
and
had
you
top
brought
hat
it with
and the,
you.
He had top hat and the Jew parachute.
The Jew character.
Jew parachute. What?
It took him a whole week longer to come up with that character too, because the whole internet was down. He had a week of time
Yeah,
to
fucking
plan.
start. Yeah, no.
Listen, all right.
That's what he got.
Like level 200. You
He-
guys want to fight?
He beat the goddamn game in 3 days, and he had to wait a whole week and a half to fucking play the online. He gets the online. It's like, damn, online can't make my damn Abraham Lincoln Jew person. You could fucking
This is exactly what happened.
emancipate the Jews, goddammit.
It's amazing to see Abraham
This is-
Lincoln with a minigun.
This is
I'm sure. It is.
actually exactly what happened.
I've
the
seen
whole
Abraham
week.
Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Have you seen that?
No.
Funny
okay.
enough, I have the Abraham Lincoln character with my nice top hat, and I have contact lenses in, so my eyes are red, so I look like I'm possessed Abraham Lincoln.
He's a demon.
Terminator Abraham Lincoln.
Alien.
I also have that character on PC.
Yeah, I know.
Wasted money on GTA 5 PC.
Oh shit.
Actually, it wasn't a waste because you get mods and stuff.
He bought it twice.
Kind of
So did
bought it
everybody
like 3
else.
times.
If you bought it on the 360, you also bought it on the one.
I know, but I think I bought it for somebody else too. So
You bought that game like 5 times over.
yeah.
Let's talk about more Xbox stuff.
Okay.
Let's talk about more of that.
Anybody having an issue with their download speeds? Because mine keeps
No.
shutting off.
No. I was going to talk about the new subscription service for Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
What is
That
it?
launched. It's a subscription service where you pay $10 a month and you get to play whatever games they have. It's like Netflix
So it's like GameFly
or GameFly,
Yeah.
back in the day.
but it's like, you download them.
Yeah.
You install them to your thing. You play them. Once the month is up, new games come in. And you install the ones you want. You play them.
They'll have a pool of games. Not new games will come in, but some will go and some will come.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
It's not going to wipe it all out and then.
I just took their
four.
14 days free.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
like,
and
didn't do that.
For gold users, you get 14 days free. You don't have to have a gold subscription to play these games.
I want them to
You
get
do to play multiplayer.
Multiplayer games, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
if they're gonna do this, I want them to get rid of the stupid gold, silver subscription thing and just let us play online for free, like PC players have been able to forever.
No.
Somebody has to pay the bills.
That doesn't
They're already
matter.
making
They
enough
don't.
money.
They don't
No.
need. They literally don't need that to run their stuff because they don't host any servers. The individual game companies host the servers.
Privilege. That's what I'm hearing right now.
They don't
Privilege.
host the servers?
No,
What about when you're in party chat?
that
Who hosts those servers?
Isn't it the
the
Xbox and
you
party
it's
server?
hosted on your Xbox.
They hold the service which you download the games from.
Shitty servers.
Yeah, but Steam hosts that for free.
That's because they get a huge cut of the games sales.
And you don't think Microsoft does it?
Yeah,
I'm sure they get a cut too.
exactly. They're making bank because we allow them to.
It's not like everybody's gonna stop buying gold.
I know that's not what I'm saying.
They're also making bank because we are keeping them afloat on some things. Do you remember how
PlayStation got
PlayStation.
hacked and Microsoft didn't.
PlayStation got hacked, Microsoft didn't, and
That was one of-
PlayStation's fucking shit was terrible.
That was one of my
It
points.
was terrible.
That was one of my points. But looking into it, they could have done all of that with the money that they were making and still been more than well enough off. I think that the $60 for a year or the $120 if you're not paying it by a year subscription is still overpriced for what they're providing. Because you got to think of the number of people based upon the service that they're providing. If their customer support was better, I would appreciate paying that more.
They are a business. They are not going to be like, well, we made a lot of money this year.
That is
Let's put
not what
more
I'm talking
service
about.
into. Okay, but I mean, they do a lot more than just connect you to other people. All those games, they don't run like the.
point-
So the way they run, like some of the like For Honor, like if it's a player to player connection,
Yeah.
like there aren't any dedicated For Honor servers. You're the connection, so it has to be
It's going through Xbox
your
Live,
connection.
My point is, minus the occasional having to port forward your PC on games, that's very occasional. You can do all of the same stuff that you do on Xbox through your PC without having to pay for anything except maybe a TeamSpeak server if you want to be able to organize your party chat. And
Discord
that's
is
it.
free.
And Discord's free
Discord's
now.
free.
And
But TeamSpeak is better.
TeamSpeak, how much you pay? Like maybe $1 a month.
$6. But that's
That's-
because I got a bigger
That's
server.
the PC though.
I understand that, and they're
is
providing
the
us
thing.
a console feel and all this stuff, and I get it. Don't get me wrong, I get it.
You mean with PC? What do you mean?
No,
What
with
are they
Xbox.
providing?
With Xbox, they're providing
A
this
console feel.
whole service that's right in your living room. That's why you pay for gold.
Oh, you mean this
big whoop?
the game subscription thing? What are you talking about?
He's still going on about gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I understand all of your points, and I get why they do it because they're making money off of it, and they're probably not going to
I think there's
stop.
a lot more reasons than just they're making money off of it.
No, it's pretty
Like what?
much they're making money off of it.
Like I said, like
How do you know for sure?
How do I know for sure?
Yeah.
Because have you seen
You seem to be
Microsoft
an
shares
expert.
going down?
What's it got to do anything?
It means they're making money.
Microsoft Game Studios.
Microsoft Game Studios.
Are they separate
It's not
entities?
Microsoft though.
It is.
Yeah,
It's owned
it's
by
different.
it's owned by Microsoft's Xbox division.
Yeah, but the Microsoft Game Studios are they the ones that provide the servers for stuff like party chat and online
Where did you see the paper
capabilities?
trail for where your money goes?
You can't. Because
Yeah,
once you
they
pay,
won't
Yes,
release
how do you
it.
know what you're complaining about?
Because it's obvious.
he's saying
He just knows.
I'm saying compare it to all these other services, and they should have more than enough money to be able to do this and still make bank. Look at Steam's got it built.
You keep comparing it to all these other services. You've only talked about Steam.
What about PlayStation?
What about PlayStation, where theirs sucked ass for years until they had a monthly subscription that was $60. That then they were like, all right, we'll step up our game, and now it's finally fine. What about Nintendo's, where they haven't had one at all?
Nintendo is not even.
But now they have one for the Switch,
It's
something
coming
like
up
that.
sometime.
Or
That's
it's
not even what I'm
coming,
talking about.
and then they're not gonna.
Ow.
They're a part of it.
I understand that, but you got to look at this.
And we're talking about consoles. You can't compare it to Steam.
Yes, you
Steam is
can.
its own. No, it's not.
Because Steam can run off of what they have Steam-made consoles. It's the same thing. It's just different operating systems.
They don't have Steam-made consoles.
They do
have
too.
They have Steam
boxes.
boxes, but that's not
They
the
have
same
Steam boxes,
thing.
Nvidia Shield.
It does not offer the same thing an Xbox does.
They are.
Okay,
Just a
tell me
PC.
what.
It
Tell
is
me
a
what is
DVD
different
player.
about an Xbox than a PC that
Hardware.
makes it so much better. The hardware is suckier.
Xbox One. That's better than a PC.
Are you telling
Is
me
what
your
you're-
Xbox
no,
One is
no,
better than a
No,
PC?
I'm not. I didn't
He
know
didn't
what you
understand what he
said. No,
said.
No,
What
I'm
did you
saying,
say?
tell me what about an Xbox is better than having a PC thing, because there obviously has to be
I'm
something
not
if
saying
you're
there's-
so willing to pay a subscription based on
I can't.
this.
I can't
compared to a
provide my
PC.
own servers for things. On the PC, it's easier to do that.
What are you talking about?
Or through Steam, it's easier to do that.
I'll give you an example of why the Xbox is better.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people don't know how to press a mouse button, but they can click the A button.
I don't have to
That's
build.
literally my point.
I don't have to build a fucking PC. I also don't have to. I don't know how
You
to
don't
do
have
that.
to do that anyways.
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to play, like, some games I want to play. Like, damn it, I want to play Dark Souls on a PC.
Google
I
it.
want to run it 60 frames a second.
Google it.
It's expensive as shit to keep
no,
up
it's
with all that.
not.
Yeah, it is.
You can make
Shut
a
up.
console killer.
Console killer.
Yeah,
Six-
it's called. Let me call it.
I want. I can make. So you're telling me right now,
you
for
wanna
less than $500, I can build a PC. I can build a PC that is way fucking better than
Yeah.
my Xbox One.
way fucking better.
Way fucking better.
Way fucking. I'll,
Dude,
I'll
the
build
only
you-
Then why is anybody playing console games?
because the user experience is better for people who don't know how to use a computer on the Xbox.
It's true. That's my point.
Okay.
Behind all of this is that the PC is way better, and the only reason that we're paying all of this money
That's
for
his only
console
point,
stuff.
is that the PC's way better.
You have no facts.
No, my
The only facts you
the
have
only
is you
reason
pay
that we're paying for all
Xbox
this
and
stuff
it's
is
free on
because
Steam.
they let us,
What?
That's
or
no
because
facts.
we let
Still
them.
no facts.
Oh my goodness! Because we let them make us pay.
It's still not a fact.
It's totally a fact.
Okay, let's simplify this to what this is. I don't know what I'm paying for completely when it comes to Xbox Live Gold, but I guarantee it's something.
I guarantee it's something too. My point is that it may not be what you think it's for.
And that's fine, but I bet it's worth it.
I don't know. I would like them to
Okay.
tell me exactly what they're using it for. Maybe then I'll feel
You
a little
probably
bit.
could find it out.
Maybe then I'll feel a little bit better about spending all this money, because what I'm thinking in my head is that
$60 a year.
it's $60 a year. Yeah, but I could pay no dollars a year and have Steam and run all the same stuff and play with my friends and even talk to them through Steam.
Actually, on Steam, you have to buy. I think it's like a $5
Yeah, you have
like
to buy a
entry fee before
$5.
you can add friends. And
You have to
such.
buy You have to buy a game before you can start.
or something on like the Steam market because they sell other things and games.
But that's like getting a console. You have to buy a game to play it.
Freddy Fish. I buy that. Back to what this originally was. The Xbox Live game subscription thing. I like it. I haven't played any games on there. I like what it is though. I like how it's $10 a month.
It seems
You just-
pretty cool.
It seems pretty fucking awesome. You
Yeah.
just play these games.
The user experience is great for what you pay for.
Yes. Is it?
That's what you're saying.
No, I know. I'm just trying to be stupid on purpose. It just kind of like backed away into confusion instead of a joke.
My question about it would more along the lines be like, are they using this to supplement their income from gold, or are they?
Get off that. Get off
No,
that.
no. This has nothing to do with our previous conversation. I'm just wondering, are they wanting to make more money off of more subscriptions, or are they just actually have this new idea that they're putting in there? Because it's the same price, $10 a month for gold. But are they going to do like $25 for 3 months?
Yeah, but you don't have to have
$60 for a whole
silver
year?
though.
Yeah, I mean you can have silver and do it.
There's several
Give me this.
several
Give me this.
builds.
He's got. Kyle showed me
You dropping
from
the
the
PC
website
bomb?
from PC Part Picker. Topic: Console Killer 1080p PC gaming at $500. Is this 60 frames per second? That's not in the fucking title.
Xbox is in
That is
50
completely
frames a second,
dependent
or
on the
60.
game.
God damn it! No.
You can
Yes,
drop
it
it down to
is. Do
720.
you know how
Not if
computers
it's
work?
not if it's so goddamn powerful that it doesn't matter.
Completely dependent.
Okay, the ones that are so goddamn powerful are the ones that cost a lot more. But you want something that will beat the Xbox,
For the same price.
which is very possible.
Is that this article or is that the Scorpio? Which is
How much the Scorpio is going to cost?
we don't know. I bet it's gonna cost.
I can still build you a
$500.
better computer.
Okay.
You
I
can
don't-
build one. It's fucking Legos.
I never played with Legos that
really,
much.
it really is fucking Legos though.
Lincoln Logs. Every time I played Minecraft,
I played Minecraft.
Lincoln Logs with cable management.
I did play Lincoln Logs actually.
you don't have to have cable management. You just plug it in.
No, so you can do this with silver, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, you're not gonna have access to the multiplayer.
Yeah, but
But-
not every game is going to be a multiplayer
No,
game.
yeah,
So-
I understand that.
They had a Hexic 2.
I'm just trying to think. I'm
What's
just trying
an example to pick
to be like.
for a single player
That's
game?
one of the ones I remember.
Okay.
They had Miss Splosion Man. I don't remember if they had Splosion Man because I already have that game.
I'm trying to get into like Microsoft's mindset. Are
And
they
I want to play that. I've never played Miss Splosion Man before.
They
Sorry.
got a lot of good games.
are they doing this to try and like get people who wouldn't normally buy gold?
He's
or are they,
acting like there's a conspiracy.
or are they
No,
doing? Or are they doing it for
Where
both?
is the money going? What am I spending? What am I paying for?
This has nothing to do with conspiracy theory.
I gotta look
Why
at all
you-
these damn
why you
receipts. I
pull
gotta
that
find
up?
out where the money's going.
I'm literally,
I paid you $10. What'd that go? What did you spend that on?
I'm literally just wondering, like,
Show me the financial reports.
Show the Carfax.
is
Give me your
this,
Q4 report.
are they
Your stock prices are going down.
are they trying to expand their audience on as far as their subscription service? Because I'm really wondering, because it seems like it's a good idea.
I think they're trying to provide games for people that don't want to keep on buying ridiculously priced games. I think there is also an option of
You can
have the subscription, try the game. If you want it, just buy the fucking game.
try it now or buy to own. They have that on the store, but yeah, they have on the store. You can look at it if you can play this game now or buy it to own it forever. They have that like on the store whenever the game is in the subscription.
How long do you get to play the game though?
Until it leaves the subscription service.
So
Yeah,
at
whatever
the
that
least
is.
a month.
I hit the one goddamn thing that was metal.
So at the very minimum, you can play it for a month.
Okay.
My question would be:
actually really good.
are they
Yeah,
thinking?
there is a really fun.
And if you like it, like, oh, I like this game, you get a discount if you buy it.
And instead of
you
wasting
get a discount as
$60,
well. I didn't know that.
And if you end up like, oh, I actually like this game, I'll buy it.
Yeah,
get a
and you
discount.
usually get a discount
It's
for
not
gold,
much, but
gold
it's
as
a
well.
discount.
Oh well, yeah,
Yeah. But
Every month or whatever.
from a marketing standpoint,
They also give you free games for gold,
I love
that's
that.
two for Xbox One a month, one for 360.
which is crazy.
Most of them
because
were crap games.
No,
so.
they're usually two.
not all of them.
Here lately.
Treasure Monkey
Really? They had two
Island
360
2
games?
was free.
Not at one time.
I think.
halfway
Right.
through the month.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's it's two for the whole month on Xbox One, and then one for half of the month on Xbox 360. Then it switches halfway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I get 4.
Yep. Which is pretty cool.
I should look into that.
It's a good way to.
I download those free games all the time.
You don't even have to download them. You hit confirm purchase and hit cancel download.
And
it's-
add to your library.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
there.
it's a good way of getting games that you've never played before that
Yeah.
are just old and you just never really wanted to pay for.
Yeah.
That's also where this part of this money for the subscription service goes, is to getting the games in there. giving them to the developers.
Are
and
you
stuff.
sure that's where it comes from?
gotta-
Yeah,
They
they're
gotta
making all
acquire-
those deals.
Yeah, they got to acquire a license to put them
Yeah,
to feature them on their console.
I mean, are you sure that's where it comes from? From that exactly?
Wouldn't you want your game to be featured on a console?
They
anyways?
have to have money to do that. And I'm sure they're not going to be willing enough to spend money. It's like, well, we already make money in our business. Let's just use that money. I think if they
we
can
make
think,
enough money now.
You can never make enough money. What are you talking about?
he said that.
That's not even my point behind this.
Okay.
Like, my point isn't that they should be like, let's stop making money. No, it's that
We could provide a new service.
we can provide this service.
This might
and
be
get more-
costly for us. Instead of it being costly for us, how about we charge a price for it?
They're making money.
No, what I'm saying
Like
is
a
they could make
business does.
you
Yes.
can make plenty of money and be able to do this, and you'll be like, oh hey, come over here to us because we're not going to charge you for this because we're better. That's kind of what PlayStation tried to do, but it sucked so bad that it didn't work.
Yeah, PlayStation did a thing like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they also tried to do that with the DRM movement, like where Xbox was talking about how you couldn't trade discs, and PlayStation was trying to make fun of that, and then Xbox was like, oh well, you can totally do that now.
They only changed it because PlayStation made fun of them.
Yeah, but they changed it.
They had it. It was a way you could still do it on Xbox. It just wasn't a physical disc. You loaned them a digital copy. They did poor marketing. They didn't explain it very well at all. But the original plan was fine. But people were going up in arms about it. It was
I
fine.
didn't even know anything about it.
Yeah.
That's all I heard was like them making fun of it and stuff. So I didn't really know.
Yeah.
But you couldn't sell your games to the.
No, you cannot give them to GameStop.
Yeah. That's what people got up.
And you
for.
don't need to
I
do
don't
that
want to.
anymore. It's
I
all
would-
right.
I don't do that anyways
I know.
because they make too much money.
Maybe
What?
that's the game company slowly being like, you can't give it to GameStop.
Well, they like
Don't
that
give it to GameStop.
because all the sales through GameStop, they don't see a penny of.
Yeah.
The game developers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this brings in another thing about the market of movies and theaters. It used to be that like theaters were owned by the studios, so they would only show like studio films, and like the theaters would do better because everything that's getting paid to the theater for ticket sales would get paid like back to the studio. But there was a monopoly lawsuit brought against them, so now that the theaters like they have to make deals with studios and stuff, so that's why popcorn and stuff is so damn expensive.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like maybe the same thing's happening with like games and stuff, and that's why DLCs are getting so popular because it's supplementing the developers' income. Yeah.
They like DLC because
Are you sure?
you have to download it digitally.
Yeah, but
And they
it
see
makes
all
them
of
more
that.
money. That's what I'm
Exactly,
saying.
yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That doesn't make the publisher any money? The DLC?
No, the DLC.
Why wouldn't it?
The DLC makes both the publisher and the developer money.
Who's the movie studio and who's the movie theater in these scenarios?
Yeah.
The movie theater in these scenarios would be like GameStop and these other retailers that are seeing all this money being circulated. The developers and the publishers would be the studios because they're making and putting out the game.
Okay.
And the DLC has to go directly to you, the consumer, rather than through the GameStop or whatever.
Okay. So you're saying you're bypassing the
Yeah, the
GameStop.
DLC in this comparison would be popcorn
Well, I think there is the thing that
and soda.
It wouldn't be.
Yeah. Oh well.
Because the popcorn's over by the theater.
Yeah,
It's
this went the
just-
wrong way. Okay.
it would be the movie.
Bad
analogy
comparison. Thank you
It would
for
be the-
telling me I'm horrible.
It would
at
be
making
the
these.
movie, and then the low priced games that they sell back to you
Yeah,
are the popcorn.
something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. My
you
comparison.
give them popcorn. And they
My
sell it
comparison
back
was not
to
meant to be an analogy. It was more meant to compare the two markets.
you. Right. Well, I mean, we're gonna see that go away anyway. GameStop's not gonna be something.
It's not going to be what
in
it
the
is
future.
now.
It's still
They'll have to change if they
It'll-
want to stay around.
It'll change somehow. I don't know how they'll change.
Anybody remember game exchanges?
No,
You may remember EB Games?
I remember EB games. I don't think we had a game exchange around here.
Yeah. had a game exchange in Indiana, and I remember because we used to dig through the big bins of Nintendo 64 games.
Some of that stuff, it's like a big bin of Nintendo 64 games. I don't like the sound of that. It's like all those movies that you see like in those big bins that you gotta clear through in stores. It's like, why would you put fucking movies in there? I don't like that. I just don't like it.
Go get your cart.
It's a physical.
2 carts. Dump it all out.
It's a physical thing, and I'm just like,
Have you been in a GameStop recently?
No.
They're changed. Like
I've been one in years.
Yeah, they're they got a lot more like merchandise, like game stuff.
Yeah.
Like posters and
Oh, okay.
Probably because they're losing
toy
a bunch of
Funko
sales.
Pops. Yeah, that's what it is. They're trying
Funko
to
Pops.
Funko Pops and like comic books. They're like trying to sell other stuff. 'Cause people,
So why do they have comic books in there?
just whatever. They just have nerdy stuff.
Well, they're probably gonna. That's probably
Geek
what they're.
stuff.
That's probably what they're gonna turn straight up into is just like
It's so-
game stores.
It's dumb though. The fact that it's like comic books.
I don't know about comic books specifically. I'm just
Okay.
talking about nerdy stuff.
Because I was gonna say like that's another thing that's like more popular digitally now than ever.
Yeah,
So why
they're
would
also
you do that?
in talks of going back to old school games like 64 and
If they fucking
Game Boy
do
and
that,
stuff.
then good. That's what
Stuff
I want.
you can't get elsewhere.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't go there though. Still, because
GameStop.
I bet they wouldn't change their thing that they got going on. Here, I've got my Legend of Zelda. Here, how much is it worth?
5
20
cents.
cents.
20 cents.
Sell
Bitch,
it
please,
at
5 cents.
$100 now. And I'm sure they would do that. I'm sure they'd still do that.
You gotta make
They,
money somehow.
that's
Yeah. You know how they don't make money? We don't go there. Remember, kids, don't go to GameStop. It's a fucking trap. Your parents will take you there because
It
they
looks
think,
like
it's the game store, but don't go there.
It looks like a vagina, but don't trust it. It's a penis.
worst-
Every time.
The worst thing they did
Got
was
teeth.
offer pre-order
It's got teeth.
DLC,
Yeah,
pre-order bonuses.
at GameStop specifically.
Well, that's the worst because it means the game developers have to develop a special thing that a very small percent of people will get to use. Instead of making their game better or doing anything else, they have to develop this kind of stuff.
'Cause it makes
And
me
it's
more
not
money.
just GameStop. They have to develop
No, yeah, Best Buy
develop the
would
thing
do
for
the same
GameStop,
thing.
for Best Buy, for Target. They have to develop all these things.
Yeah,
And program in the codes and stuff to make them locked and all that kind of stuff. That's
Yeah.
what sucked.
Yep.
It'd be better if they released it like after a certain point.
Some games did do that.
They did that, and then people were like, well, that's fucking stupid. What's the point in getting the pre-order bonus?
Well, don't fucking pre-order games.
Exactly.
People like to complain
They do.
about a lot of stuff that doesn't matter.
I think that we're going to see...
Stock prices.
What?
That's fine.
I think we're going to see an evolution in how it operates and how these... not necessarily how DLCs are going to be sold, because that's probably going to stay the same because it makes people a bunch of money. But... like as far as how GameStop operates, because I don't think it's gonna last for a really
DLC's
long
not
time.
going away.
we're in the middle of the evolution.
That's what I'm saying. It's not gonna go away.
Like-
But
Games are costing more and more to make,
like
so they have to hold some back to
Are we gonna
get more money out of.
not
just
too
the
long
60.
ago, GameStop. I think I said this on one of the first podcasts. GameStop closed however many stores. Like it's happening.
yeah,
So
I have an argument against your thing. You say developers have to make DLC to make money.
They don't have to make it, but
Well, what
It's
about
there.
Witcher 3 and the CD Projekt Red guys that gave DLC away?
there are very few people that do that. There's very few. And do they have any? I had never played it. Do they have any microtransactions or anything other than the 60 you pay?
And what I played in Witcher 3, I haven't finished the game, but what I have played, I haven't had to buy anything with physical money.
I know you haven't had to, but could you have if you wanted to? Was there any offerings at all?
I never really looked for that,
Okay.
so I don't know.
I mean,
don't know. I didn't
that's
play.
a huge thing in a lot of Activision games now is microtransactions.
Yeah.
And it makes okay,
pay to win.
DLCs definitely aren't gonna go away, but if you're gonna have microtransactions and DLC, my opinion doesn't really matter. I mean, because it's just my opinion, but do one or the other. Give me all the DLCs or have microtransactions, because it just pisses me off to
DLC are
have all
just
this
big
money shit
microtransactions.
everywhere.
I don't like DLCs really. I don't like the weird small addition to the game. I'd rather it be its own game.
It
Or an
depends on the
update.
DLC.
Like, and
There's a difference in DLC and maps, for example,
yes,
and expansions and stuff
that's
like that.
that's the expansion is exactly the word. Like, when it comes to an MMO,
World of Warcraft.
like World of Warcraft, you get an expansion. It's a whole new thing, but that is an add-on to a game that will stay that game, and it won't. And it's more like a new game itself. There's a new adventure in that game that can last you a pretty long time. Like, if GTA 4 had 3 DLCs, were they all full like campaign? Was it?
They weren't quite full length, but they're pretty long.
That's why, and so that's my thing as well. I don't want to just pay however fucking much money to play 3 hours worth of a DLC game. And I'm not saying that like
It depends on DLC.
I feel like I don't. Yeah, it depends on the DLC, but I also like sometimes I don't feel like I'm getting my money. But also at the same time, I don't want to. I don't want to pay for this. I just like, I played the game. Okay, I wish. The DLC was cool. Maybe make that a whole new game. Just make it a game. Like,
It depends. It's also
or
for
go ahead
games that
and
you
already
like.
put that in the game. Like, I think it should be an either or kind of thing.
I understand
Far
exactly what you're
Cry
saying.
Blood Dragon, that wasn't Far Cry 4.
No.
It was its own thing.
And it
It
was
wasn't as
cool.
long as.
It wasn't DLC.
And it wasn't DLC.
It was its own game.
It was its
game.
own thing, but it wasn't as long as well.
It used
I don't
Far
think.
Cry, everything from Far Cry 3, but made it like completely different and
Yeah.
cool.
It was an arcade game.
It was awesome.
You say it's an arcade game.
It was classified as arcade. It wasn't.
Cla-
It wasn't a full game.
Not back in the day.
Yeah, it was back in the day.
Was it for 360?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? I can't remember
Yeah,
that.
they don't. They got rid of the arcade titles, so that
Okay.
everything feels like a full game now.
Well, even then, like, there is that argument of what do you classify as an arcade game and what do you
That's why
classify
they
as a
got rid
full
of it.
game?
That's why they got rid of it.
Exactly, because it should just be game. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Prime example of your DLC talk here. I found my Black Ops 2 disc, and I can't remember how I got the DLCs before. Probably was a license transfer, which is why it's not working on my Xbox now. But I went back to go play Black Ops 2, and I love the zombies modes, obviously. So I went back and I went to play, and all I have is Transit. And if I wanted to go buy all of the maps again, it would be $50. I'm like, I don't want to re-buy this game for full price when it's like this old already. And that's the thing, DLCs don't age as
That's
far
true.
as price drop goes.
While I was playing World at War, I didn't have these certain map packs. I had to pay $20 to get those certain map packs.
There's a right way and a wrong way to do them.
What about GTA? The ill-gotten gains. It's not, you don't have to buy the DLC,
Like you can
but
play
they
the whole
couldn't
game.
have put that in the game because they didn't know that their people were going to spawn money in.
What? What are you talking about?
Ill-gotten gains.
What was that?
It's like it's not a DLC because you don't have to buy it. But it was like an add-on in the game. They added stuff in the game after people
an
were
update.
spawning in money.
What game is what
GTA 5.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
GTA
I've never
5
heard of that.
or GTA 5 Online, they had there's a really big problem at the beginning because people were hacking the crap out of the game, modding the crap out of the game.
Sure.
And they would just shoot cash at you. So
That's pretty funny.
I had a few $1 billion for a while there. They updated the game and took most of the money away, but people still were able to get more money in there, and so the cash flow, like everybody had a bunch of money, and you could only spend so much money on everything because you could only have like one garage, and you could only fill it up with so many $2 million cars.
Sure.
So they added in this update where you could get yachts, more garages, gigantic apartments,
Yeah.
and this stuff cost like close to billions of dollars
Yeah.
in GTA money. So that was basically like RuneScape's bonds. It was a money pit so that it would lower everybody's net worth,
Inflation.
so that it would de-inflate the market and make people more apt to buy shark cards and play the game normally.
So it's just an add-on to the game.
It was an update.
It was
Yeah.
an update.
Or an
No.
update.
But
That
you
sounds like it was
we have to
already
buy
gonna
the
be
DLC.
though. Why wouldn't they have yachts and stuff anyway? So it sounds like that was gonna be a thing anyway.
Imagine
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln, the demon lord from earlier, just shooting you with a minigun
On a yacht?
on a yacht with stacks of money just hitting you. And instead of you dying, your character would like, I don't know, twitch or whatever, act like he's getting
ragdoll.
shot.
Yeah.
That was hilarious because that used to happen to me all the time. I would just be like running by and somebody'd shoot at me. I'm like, "You motherfucker!" And I'd shoot at him in the face, and like he wouldn't take any damage. And I'm like, "Wait, oh, those aren't bullets. Those are money bags. I have $2 billion. Oh, okay, thanks, man."
There are right ways to do DLC though. Like in Doom, the new Doom. I love that game, right?
Okay.
Single player, long single player, it's fun. I would love to play more than what I have. I would love DLC to come out, but they don't have any. They have multiplayer DLC, map packs and stuff, which I don't want to buy. But I would love to have more levels.
You're giving an example that is a terrible example because
Why?
it doesn't have DLC for the main thing. You should have said something like Red Dead, Undead Nightmare,
Sure.
which has DLC and it's like its own game, isn't it? I've never played it. I don't know. I have it. I have not played it.
He was saying that was an example of where they could add DLC but didn't.
And they do that though, don't they? They do add DLC onto like a main storyline.
Not
like
all the time.
GTA 4.
Fallout.
I've never played Fallout. What do they do with Fallout?
Yeah, Fallout 4, they have three or four, I think it's three big ones, a bunch of little ones, DLC add-ons. It was, if you had the season pass, you got the three main ones, and it adds a bunch of story, like it adds 2 extra worlds. They did it with Fallout 3 New Vegas, and I don't know if they did it with Fallout 3. But with New Vegas, you had like the big MT, which is, it's the big mountain, but it's also the big empty, but it's spelled big MT.
Okay.
Huh, hilarious. Anyways, they also had another couple places that you could go to, but only after you got the DLC. So, and it's also like Dark Souls DLC, where it adds more in there, like the Ashes of Ariandel and the Ring City. It adds more into the story,
So
but also multiplayer too.
So
which is weird.
should DLC be relegated to campaign? And is that good DLC and bad DLC is multiplayer? Is that what we're saying? Because that's exactly what it
That's how I
sounds
feel.
like.
I don't necessarily agree, but my point,
Multiplayer DLC maps alienate the player base. They split it up,
that's true.
which sucks.
What I'm saying is, if they're gonna do DLC, provide it for everybody, because then
Yeah.
everybody's gonna want to buy it.
Call of Duty World at War. I don't know how many goddamn times I've been kicked out of matchmaking because I don't have the goddamn map.
Yeah, and
And
not
I
even
don't want to buy the map. And it's like, okay. And it's like, I'll get matched 5 times for the same goddamn map I don't have. Great. I guess I'm off Call of Duty.
Black Ops
basic-
3
for a
fixed
bit.
that.
Did they? Okay.
Because I don't have the map pack and I can still play different.
Okay.
And so with
Well, it's good that they recognize that as an issue.
the thing
Jesus
that
Christ.
like, okay, in Black Ops, I don't care if they had anything campaign, because honestly, the Black Ops 3 campaign wasn't that great, but they add zombies and multiplayer, but it feels a little more heavy-sided on the multiplayer maps. I understand they have to put more into the zombies maps than multiplayer maps, but they would release like 4 multiplayer maps and 1 zombies map per DLC.
When you buy
Except
DLC,
when you
when you
get
buy
chronicles.
DLC, is zombies and multiplayer maps included into both things?
Both, they're both in the one DLC.
Okay.
And there's 4 different DLCs.
Okay.
So you get 1 map, 1 zombies map, and 4.
So if you don't
multiplayer
really
maps.
care about playing the multiplayer and you just want to play zombies, you still have to pay the full price of what the multiplayer maps would give you as well.
Yeah,
Or
which
I'm
is kind of
the complete
stupid.
opposite.
What?
I'm the complete opposite. I could give a shit less about zombies, but I like multiplayer maps.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's,
That's
well,
why he wouldn't
but
buy the zombies DLC, but I would.
But then again, it's like I don't know how I feel about extra maps for multiplayer.
They have to have the developers have 2 choices, and they both suck. They either do the thing that World at War does, where it puts all the maps into rotation, and if you don't have it, you just get kicked. Or they separate them to have old games, old maps, and then a playlist with the new maps, and then nobody plays the new maps because the player base is so small over time.
I meant like, is it even a good idea to have like them make DLC maps that you have to charge for? You have to pay, you have to pay for those DLC maps. Why can't they already be included?
Well, that's why I liked what Halo 5 did. Halo 5 did where all the multiplayer maps are free, so that nobody was alienated. And the way they made up for it is they had microtransactions.
Yeah,
That's how they got money over time.
that's what I was saying. Why they should do one or the other.
Even then,
Same with Overwatch.
what was
Yeah.
it? Halo 3 or Halo? It was Halo Reach. They would add user created maps into the playlists,
Yeah, that was cool.
into the main Slayer playlist, like the ones that people would play the most. They would add in there, and it would be its own DLC map, and they were good maps.
Yeah, and what was I gonna say? Same thing that you said to me about why are they doing it? Well, because they're making money. They're a business. They
I
wanna
know
make
why
more
they're
money.
making money, but it's like they're
I
doing it
understand.
in a shitty way, and I really don't like it.
That was my point about the subscription. The subscription base is it used to be a really shitty way because they weren't really providing anything extra.
Yeah, but I know what they're providing. Well, and they're not really providing anything extra for DLC though.
I mean,
To
they're
some
providing more
things.
content. I understand, and I understand.
But
in
at what
most
cost?
instances, $15.
But like,
Thing that pissed me off.
I would rather with Call of Duty, I'd rather not pay a price for DLC maps. I feel like
You think they should charge more for the game then?
I don't know. I feel like don't even make them. It's such a bad thing. Like I don't feel maybe there is no good answer for what they should do, or maybe the good answer is that no, DLC is there for a reason if you want more of this game, or maybe they should just go ahead and make the next game. I don't know.
well,
Maybe games like Call of Duty, when it has campaign and multiplayer, maybe they shouldn't be the same game, and maybe they should be separate games.
Didn't they do that with
they
one of them?
actually did that with Black Ops 2 on PC. They have Black Ops campaign, Black Ops 2 multiplayer, and Black Ops 2 zombies. If you bought the full game, you got zombies multiplayer and campaign, but you could buy just the campaign.
Battlefield
Or
1943.
I mean, just the multiplayer. Sorry.
Battlefield 1943, just an all multiplayer game, the first of its kind.
It was,
I don't think it's the first of its
no,
kind.
but it was really cool.
No, it wasn't. Shadowrun was the first of its kind.
I don't know how I feel about that because it was really cool at one point, and then I played it when I was really drunk, and it wasn't cool anymore.
It's just Battlefield.
You remember that? I threw up on the floor.
It's just Battlefield. It's a
I
fun
remember
game.
that.
Yeah. I remember buying 1943 because you could play it for free for like 2 hours,
Yeah,
and then I
something
ran
like
out of my 2 hours. I was like, I want this game, and because I would always fly and drop bombs on people.
Drop bombs on people and be like, oh, they're taking the command post or whatever it is.
Dude,
I'm gonna crash my plane into them.
waiting by the
fun.
place, waiting by the base so that you could call it, you could fly the bombers. I would always do that.
It's cool, but like, I don't know. Maybe that's too like an extreme idea, especially in this day and age when it comes to games.
To maybe give us a little extra because we've been paying for this and we want to enjoy it and not have to break our bank.
I don't know. I just think like
Somewhere along the line, somebody loses, whether it's the developers or whether it's the people buying the DLC, where they lose their money. The developers
Games
lose
are
Honestly-
costing more and more and more and more to make, and the price of games is steady. So the profit margin has been getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Well,
That's why they're finding new ways to charge money
yeah.
to make money somewhere.
is it better to have just a developer? Are publishers maybe the problem here? Because publishers seem to be the ones that want to push out games before they're done, want to charge all the shit tons of money and make sure that the developers get all of this done because they want to make enough money off of this. Because honestly, in this triangle of what this is right now, we have the players, the developers, and the publishers. And the publishers are the ones that are getting most of the money, but they're the ones that are also pushing out and marketing all this stuff. The developers are doing all the work, and the players are supplying all of the money and the feedback to the developers.
I don't know.
Do we need the publishers there?
because some smaller game companies.
I would assume so. Kind of like
Bethesda-
Sony and Microsoft.
Bethesda, to be honest,
People that have to control that shit.
as far as I've seen,
they have
have
consoles.
done a great job of being a publisher. They haven't rushed out games, and they've don't really put their name on anything that they don't think is worth it.
They're big enough that they can do that, though.
Yeah,
Blizzard is the same way.
Some of them have to pump them out, so we need money now. We're running out.
but does Activision? Do they need to? They're really big, and they seem like they just keep pooping out the same crap.
That is the thing that they can just.
I'm wondering.
That is the thing, yeah. But I mean, I don't know.
I don't think we'll ever know the answers to these, but stuff to think about, I guess.
I wouldn't mind a day and age where I can go back to playing a game that was like just the campaign, and I can play the shit out of the campaign.
Doom.
Like Doom. I can play the
Doom.
shit out of Doom and then not care about the multiplayer.
You play GTA single player.
Yeah.
Yeah, play the shit out of that. Well, it takes a while to play as well. Play the shit out of that. Never really played the multiplayer, though.
Yeah.
Dude, 007 is the first game that I played.
GoldenEye.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, sorry.
Be specific.
Well,
We ain't talking no Night Fighter here.
no, we're not.
We ain't talking no Agent Under Fire.
We ain't talking about Space Hunter.
We're
ain't
talking about
Iron Spider.
GoldenEye.
We ain't talking about Rogue Agent. 'Cause it's
Anyways,
GoldenEye Rogue Agent as well. There's another. We ain't talking about From Russia with Love.
Or Quantum of Solace.
we're talking about the Nintendo 64 game that I played the crap out of the campaign.
We ain't
with.
talking about the sequel to the Nintendo 64 game.
No. I played the crap out of
GoldenEye Reloaded. We ain't talking about that one either.
We talking about the original.
I got in trouble for sticking to my friend's house to play that game by myself.
But no, I played
The original one.
the campaign. I played the campaign.
We ain't talking about that one.
I love the campaign.
we are.
Oh, yeah, we are, actually.
Love the campaign for the most part. I could go back and play it again.
Yeah.
But like the multiplayer was amazing too. And I mean it's different because it's not online, but it's that couch. It's got a great couch gaming feel.
I don't know.
But-
Maybe I'm crazy when I say multiplayer games should be multiplayer games and campaign games should be campaign.
Campaign games don't make as much.
Yeah.
Because you play the campaign and then you're done.
And then you're done, yeah.
Multiplayer, you play forever.
That's definitely me. I
For
play
a
the
while.
campaign and I'm definitely done.
Well, like
DLC.
a great example of a game that you play the campaign and you're done is Inside. Great game. Don't get me wrong. Like that
Didn't
game.
play it. Don't spoil anything.
I'm not going to.
Just
that,
to say.
that game was amazing. I loved how the atmosphere that it puts you in, how you learn and you don't really die unless you just don't learn.
Yeah.
And the ending is great.
See, they got your money, and then they're done.
Yeah, it was just $20.
Replay
And it
value.
lasted me a good.
There is an ending.
Like 5 to 7. No, it wasn't 5. Maybe 5 hours.
Yeah.
So
Whereas
I mean,
a game like Overwatch, you might constantly, I'll spend $5 to get a loot box here. A couple months later, I spent $5 to get a loot box here. That's money that Inside will never get.
or for
Even
me,
if it's just $5.
you pay $60 and then you play the game for like 2 months and then never play it again.
It's also an indie game.
Or any
It's
DLC
also
game.
a smaller game.
That's true. But it's just a good example of a great just campaign game. But at the same time, I
No money in
enjoy both games with campaigns and multiplayer because sometimes sometimes I love the story, but my friend doesn't. But I want to play with my friend, and I still enjoy playing with my friend on the same place.
Multiplayer games can be sort of the same thing. They're very niche.
Yeah,
Like shooters. Play the fucking shooter. That's almost every multiplayer game is a shooter
and
You're looking
or a fighting game.
every consistently popular multiplayer game is either a shooter, an RPG, or a fighter.
Yeah, and you don't really need the campaign to take you along anywhere.
Yeah, but it's fun for
So-
me to play the first-person shooter campaigns. Like, I enjoy those.
Yeah, what I'm saying, if you get, let's say you love campaigns, right, and you like multiplayer games, get a game like Halo, fucking perfect game, right? Well, your friend fucking hates going through campaigns because who gives a shit about campaigns? He thinks he just likes multiplayer games. Goddamn, why can't there be just a game that's just goddamn multiplayer?
So you're saying he should have to pay less than me because I want to play both.
I'm not saying less. I'm saying where's the game for him?
Titanfall
Multiplayer.
1. It was only multiplayer.
It was Honestly, Titanfall 1 was pretty fun, but they were supposed to have a story in the game. Which was
They did, though.
They kind of did. It was kind
I
of
don't know.
cool, but there wasn't enough.
Overwatch is the game.
Yeah.
League of
Achievement-
Legends is the game.
The new achievement thing, you can see the percentage of people who have
hate League.
the achievement unlocked.
I'm
It's
saying
real,
it's the game, though.
it's really interesting to go through a game that gives achievements for beating levels. And you look at like achievement for beating level 2. 50% of people who've played this game
I know.
have that achievement.
Not a whole lot of people.
That's why all the DLC and all the stuff they spend all the time in multiplayer, because that's where everybody is
GTA 5.
most of the time.
I guess
Most
so.
of the time.
Oh, yeah, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
even then, like playing zombies, I got some of the achievements, and every single achievement that I've gotten was a diamond achievement because less than 1% of people have done them.
That's because they don't have the DLC.
No, I mean like even the original maps.
Yeah.
Like they didn't do anything because they're all in multiplayer, shooting each other. I don't really want to play zombies. Yeah, but I mean, whatever.
That's because everybody's like, I can beat your ass at this game. No, you can't.
1v1 me and Halo, bro.
And a DLC map in a shooter is, I would guess, is way easier to develop than a level in campaign.
Yeah, or a map in zombies. That's why I'm almost for certain why they release one zombies map and then 4 multiplayer maps, because you make the multiplayer map and maybe you make a couple things interactable, but that's it. And then you're there and you just put people in. That's all you have to do. I mean, for certain game modes, you have to like update the AI so it knows where to go when you got like AI things, and then you do like special game modes like uplink and stuff, but it's really not hard to do. That's as hard as going into Forge on Halo and updating a map for yourself. It's like takes maybe an hour or two.
Earlier, you said you were maybe I don't know, upset's the right word, but how you could use custom maps, and some people didn't download them, or you couldn't download them, or something like that.
Did I say that? Well, I was...
Use
You
Halo.
liked how Reach had custom maps that were free.
Yeah, it's essentially free because
user
they
created
just...
content.
User-created content that they just put in the multiplayer.
Yeah,
and it was like...
that was awesome.
That's awesome. That should be almost every game. Because it's like... It's just users. You know, it's just...
That gives a game a gigantic amount of replayability. That's why
Yeah.
CS:GO still has people on not maps,
Forge
but
is amazing.
because it's just multiplayer. There's so many people on CS:GO still because it's multiplayer and they want skins. That's how they make a bunch of money off of it. But yeah, well that's
Team Fortress.
Whatever.
Same time, but
And that game's free as well.
Because
Why you looking at me weird?
But
Well,
CS:GO,
you buy the hats.
I'm not talking about like the maps. I'm just talking about user content.
You're talking about
users
source?
in general.
So you're talking about Source, though.
CS:GO
He's talking about
is a
CS:GO Source.
multi-million industry because there's the tournaments now.
Okay.
Well, it was multi-million before, but they now have tournaments.
My point is that the user base stays loyal and there when you have content that users can keep perpetuating. When it's just like multiplayer, people always play multiplayer because it's people. People change. People are different. That's why it's more fun to play when you don't know what somebody's going to do.
I guess so. When it comes to Melee, talking about a 16-year-old game,
Yeah.
People
and
some
like
tournaments over that.
people still go nuts over that.
And when Brawl came out, they even made an update for Brawl to go back to Melee, Project M.
Yeah, to change it and make it better.
But
Good
anyways,
job. And they've made their own version of Melee as well, like a training edition. I don't know where to find it. I wanna figure out how to do that. I think it's an online thing that you have to do. It's
speaking of special
called
games,
20XX, which is kind of its own like joke in itself within the Melee community.
I want to play. That was scary. I want to play. I want to play 007 with a mouse because they have a modded version of the game where you can play with a mouse and keyboard. And I'm interested.
Probably way easier.
Yeah,
It is. You
I'm
get way more
incredibly
precision.
easier.
I'm interested to see, like, because that's what they should have done with Live and Reloaded. Retextured everything and made you use a cursor to aim and shoot. That's it. They didn't have to do anything else.
I guess so. Let's get off this topic.
Sorry.
We're not really on the top. I mean, I don't know.
We're just talking.
We kind of trailed off for quite a while on this.
Developers.
Developers. Okay. So, has anybody else tried Beam?
No.
What is it?
Beam is
It's
the
no
streaming.
longer Beam, it's Mixer.
I know, that's what I was going to bring up.
Why
Mixer.
did they change it? Do you know?
Because they're adding more features and they're trying to branch out, and I don't really know why they changed the fucking name.
I know why they changed it. I figured they were trying to build a brand with Beam, and then they changed it immediately.
Beam started in 2016, got acquired by Microsoft like 6 months after, and then they've already changed their name.
I don't know why. Why even? Why they pushed Beam for like a week or two?
Yeah, and now
they
it's
changed
Mixer.
it.
Yeah,
Why did they even bother?
I don't know. They're coming out with a lot of new stuff.
It's so bizarre.
One of the things they're coming out with, one of the things that they've talked about is how they have very low latency. You know, a regular stream like on Twitch, YouTube, 10 to 15 seconds. Their latency, 1 or 2 seconds.
Is that a big
Is that
deal?
real, though? It is a big deal when you're interacting with your users because...
That is
It's a big deal for the streamer, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the streamer
The watcher, who cares?
and the people who are watching. Because when you type in, you have to wait like 10 to 15 seconds to be like, did they see my comment? Did they see my comment? I wonder if they saw my comment.
It kind of does matter depending, because like if you're playing a game to where you can interact with somebody while they're playing the game.
Why wouldn't you just get on Discord or TeamSpeak
Yeah, that's what you would
or
know.
Xbox Live?
That's what
How
you
many
normally do.
fucking people are you gonna get on
The main...
Discord with?
A lot.
You can...
1,000 people.
Yes.
It'd be terrible, but you could do it.
My point is that it's more geared toward
Discord
streamer
plays
viewer
Pokemon.
interaction is that low latency. That's the big deal.
Yeah. Another thing, another new thing, another feature that's coming out. I don't know when it's coming out. It's called co-streaming. Co-streaming allows for as many as 4 Mixer users to team up and broadcast together, combining multiple separate stream sources into one shared split-screen view, including a centralized chat
Trash.
experience.
It's actually pretty cool. I think it sounds pretty cool.
So split screen.
Don't know how well it'll
everybody's
work.
streaming.
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
I don't know. how
it
well
sounds
it'll
like a great idea for people who play games together. Like, okay, Markiplier makes his own videos, right? Jacksepticeye makes his own videos. So does the 2 other guys that he plays with. I can't remember their names. One of them always uses the username Lord Monolith, and I can't remember. Anyways, those 4.
that was the biggest
Sorry,
who cares?
semantics.
Yeah.
Those 4 get together and play games all the time, and they have to go back in and edit each of their face cams in while they're playing these games, and it usually shows like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye on their separate channels. My point is,
That's
different.
That's way different though.
my point is they could do this live streaming, and it could be better for them in some ways.
No.
This is different.
I hate
This is
split
way,
screen.
this is too different though.
How's it too different?
This is split screen. This is not cutting between the two.
Yeah, I know it's not cutting between the two. It doesn't cut.
It's
between
not even,
the two.
and also
they're all
it's
playing at the same time.
Yeah, but also
in those videos.
Also, is what are they doing? You're talking about their YouTube channels. You're not talking about them streaming.
Yes.
They're streaming, and you're talking about that.
No. My point.
Okay, and that's also very different.
My point is they could stream them all 4 playing the same game
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
cooperatively.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be constantly talking over each other or doing a bunch of stupid stuff that's going to make it look really dumb.
They will be talking over each other. They're streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're streaming together, so they're all going to talk individually.
But when they do the cutting in between, they're still all talking to each
They're
other.
just playing together. I don't know.
Yeah, I know they're all playing together, but they're not talking to anybody other than those 4, except maybe the streamers or the viewers every once in a while. But when they're talking to the viewers, they're talking to not their audience, but everybody's audience. I'm just saying, it's a really cool idea that could totally work.
Do the chats combine? Does it say anything about that?
Shit. I doubt the chats combined. It'd be crazy.
Well, I mean, that would
It's
be
just
kind of the point.
It's just multiple perspectives. I'm sure you have your respective chat on your respective person you're watching. So
I assume it would just be one stream. It would just be you're streaming. You're viewing a 4-player split screen.
yeah, but what channel do you go to watch it on? You go to watch it on mine, yours, or his?
I think all of
whoever's
them are
it.
doing the same thing.
So we all get the same views.
I think so. That's why I'm saying it'd be a really good idea.
Well, yeah, I'm saying it's a good idea, but like.
That's why I was kind of
I
confused
think
why you were so like.
Oh, because I think it's just different for like Markiplier. Like his uses are just different because
It's got to be
I
one.
understand,
he's
but
making a video, not a stream.
I'm just saying,
And
like
that's the only thing.
the only thing I'm saying is that like for people that are like out there that are noticeable, and he came to my mind because he plays with those three others.
That's time. We're gone.
That's
Bye.
time. I wanted to talk about the robot in Dubai.
Next time.
It's essentially just a terminal. That's all it is.
Oh,
A police officer kiosk. That's all it is. Well, it's a robot.
you mean it doesn't slap people and like put handcuffs on them?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
big robot handcuffs. Psh, your arms just flip there.
I was hoping the security bots off of Fallout 3 New Vegas.
I was thinking first RoboCop, but yeah.
Securitrons.
Yeah, Securitrons.
That's podcast.
Yay.
Yay.
Number 10 down.